All right, let's get this Sunday night party rolling in the real world here. Let's go have some fun here today. We'll give you a quick backstory for anybody who sees this later. It was rainy and nasty almost all week. As a matter of fact, we got our very first thunderstorms of the year. Just I think it was on Friday. Really bad thunderstorms. So I did not get a chance to put out a video this week, and I do apologize about that. Today was the first day. It was halfway actually sunny. So I wanted to let you guys know why I did not get a video out for this week's thing. It's just been crap. We finally got rain. We hadn't seen rain in like a month or 2 months now. We've had nothing but gray, very windy days. So I didn't do anything this week, and I do apologize about that. I want to do it every day, but every day I'd wake up, I'm like, it's another nasty day. I'm not going out there making videos. And then on Friday, we had that full-on first thunderstorm of the season. I was like, whoa, we got thunder. It woke me up. So I do apologize about that, but I can hang out with you guys in the live stream. You guys are always welcome in here. I just got out of the pool and stuff like that, so Blake, please bear with me. Me and my son were out there playing in the pool, and I've been spending a lot of time with the family lately. You know how this whole hangout situation we're going through is going. So without further ado, everybody welcome to the hangout here. Everybody's more than welcome to come chill out with me. I'm going to turn on a couple more lights. I forgot the actual garage lights are off right now, so bear with me there. It might help, it might not. I don't know. But more light, the better. So how's everybody's been going? Wanted to check up on you guys. Wanted to see how you guys were doing. I told you guys I always have a live stream with you guys. And we're out here doing it. Yep, Big Bertha's still here. Haven't moved it because I was going to do some videos on it. And it turned out to be crappy every single day this week. I mean, bad weather. I wanted to go fly, and I was like, I'm not flying in that nastiness. So just didn't do it. Can't hear me. Are you the only one that can't hear me? Because that is really weird how you could not hear me. So, no, I can mute the microphone. So can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments below. Can you hear me, or is he just deaf? Let me know in the comments below. I'll wait for it, guys. So you guys are going to have to actually write me here. Write me, because I'm not seeing anybody's comments after Victor. I don't know. I just see cheers from Nebraska, and then I see Victor. If anybody can hear this. Okay, cool. So that's what was going on. Gage was just telling me he couldn't hear me. So I was like, and then nobody was writing, so I kind of figured, hey, I'm sorry. If it is, we'll reset the whole live stream. Not a big deal. So there you go. Beverage front. Oh my God, Ricardo. I was gonna take some snorting stuff. So, like, I had to come out here. I love my smell of my products. People will make fun of me for that on my videos, but that's totally okay. I don't care. If a product smells good, and I love Turlock's new, it's like a mango scent to it. Top. Love it. It makes things so much better. I'd rather have that than a really heavy chemical smell, and I'm like gagging while I'm out there doing it. So thank you so much, Ricardo. As a matter of fact, I actually do have myself a Coke, because again, today I actually spent time with the family, and I was actually out in the pool. It's the first day I've gotten in the pool this year. Still a little chilly. It's like 76 degrees in the water. I know you guys are all like, that's so hot for Floridian. Until it's about 80 degrees, it's still a little bit chilly. So I just kind of stayed away from it. My son was all in the pool and stuff. He doesn't really know how to swim really that well, so we put him in the kiddie pool and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put my bathing suit on, and I jumped in the pool with him today. So it was a little cold, hopped in the thing, got cleaned up, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to come have a shower, or not shower with you guys. Some of you guys might actually like that, but come hang out with you guys on the live stream, and we'll go have some chill. Can't hear it. Good deal. From old Pueblo. What's going on, Pueblo? How you doing, buddy? I ain't never been to that part of Texas. I've been to, I drove through Austin. I drove all the way to Austin. Drove through Houston on the way to Austin, but that's all I've ever been to with Texas. Nice products smell great. Yes, they do. Oh my God, you are so right. Silicone Plus products have a horrible smell. Grease from California. How are you surviving out there in California? I don't even know how people live out there. The rules are out of control. I watched something today on the news. I don't know if anybody watched the news. I try and stay away from it, especially in this time period we're in right now, because there's so much drama on the internet and drama on the airways, and I'm sick of hearing about it. But they were talking about filling in skate parks with sand to stop people. And I'm like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life, and just, I don't understand how people in California live. They're way too crazy out there. I've been out there once. I stayed a week when we went on a cruise out there. We were in Southern California, and there's a lot of weird people there in California, like really strange, and not my cup of tea, let's put it that way. The ice smells decent, especially on the new ice wax. Yes, it is amazing, LAD. I 100% agree with you, man. I could literally just sit there and I could sit here with one of you guys and just let you guys do the car, and I would sit there. As long as you're spraying that product and I can smell it, I'm all for it. You know what I would really like to see Turtle Box do? You guys all know how Chemical Guys is like really big on their scents, and they sell the sprays. I would love to see Turtle Wax actually put out a spray thing. Maybe you just can buy it online. Stuff like that. Maybe we can't get it in stores. I don't know. Just let me buy the scent for in it like a spray bottle where I can actually just spray it in my car's interior anytime I want, or the house, whatever. To me, I would love it. I love scents. As a matter of fact, I've probably bought 15 different scents from Chemical Guys alone. That is one of the big things that I'll always give credit for on Chemical Guys is that they have amazing scents. As long as, for every different particular smell you want, that's what I'm into right there. Peoria, Illinois, 65. Yeah, my dad lives in Champaign, and he said it was supposed to be warming up as well. It was cold the other day. He said he had snow, so he said he really wants out because Illinois, I guess, is one of the really crazy wackadoo governors. It's like nobody can do anything in Illinois, and so he's on lockdown himself, and he can't stand it. He hates it. So I was like, well, you guys come to Florida because Florida is pretty much starting to open up, so you're welcome to come stay with us. What's up, HM? How you doing, buddy? Seal and Shine is an amazing first spray-on bottle. Dude, Seal and Shine is awesome. Awesome. That's all I have right now in the GTR. All I run on this bad boy. For the last over a year, I've put nothing but Seal and Shine on this. So once every couple months, if I'm going to wash it, I'll spritz it down with another Seal and Shine layer, and I'm telling you, if this thing ever gets caught in the rain, or if I'm just washing the car, the beating is out of control on it. This thing, I'm hoping when I do decide to put it up for sale after all this drama ends, that I really do hope it's going to blow people's mind when they come to look at the GTR, because they're going to just be, flat blown away about how beautiful the car's paint is and stuff. Is a Tough Shine tire cleaner any good? Tough Shine tire cleaner. I don't remember ever using that one. If I have used it, please go back into my older videos and look. But it has been a long time, so please bear with me. Best wax or polish for swirls and scratches. Wax or polish. I personally, what I like to use is the all-in-one from 3D. It's called 3D One. It doesn't have a wax in it. It's just a straight compound and polish mix. And that's what I actually used on the hood here. Because if you guys got to see the actual polish video when I did it on the hood, there was still some swirls left. You guys got to see that. I wasn't going to beat around the bush and go, some people will, I've already seen comments saying, Turtle Wax is buying out all the YouTubers and stuff like that, paying them off and all this stuff. And one thing I've told them and I've told everybody is like, if I don't like it, I'm just going to tell you straight up. I'm not going to fake the funk results or stuff. You're going to see that, yes, it did knock out a lot of the stuff, but was it 100% of the swirls gone? No, it was not. And, that's what I wanted to show everybody in my video and not lie to anybody. It was definitely a huge jump up, but it wasn't perfect. And I decided I was going to come back and actually try and make it the best I could. So I came back with a 3D one and with a very stiff pad, and I really tried to take it down. And I knocked out probably 95% of the swirls, if not more. So when she actually does decide to get it, come back, she's up in Chicago, that it'll be beautiful for her. Do you agree with the governor? Yeah, I say bring it on, and ending game, bring it on. I'm a Floridian. I've seen it. It's hurting. My wife is a doctor. Her patients are way down. They told her this last Thursday, do not come to work. They told her next Thursday, do not come to work. There's just no patients. Everybody's too scared to go in. People can't pay their bills. Yeah, I agree. It needs to be opened up 100%. If you think you might have an issue, you're sick or whatever, then I agree that you need to stay inside. Maybe wear a mask, whatever you want to do, but I 100% agree. It's time for the rest of people to get to work. I mean, we're fortunate that I'm an essential job. She's an essential, but her job is like cut so hard that we might be able to skate through another month or two, and that's probably about it before we would start looking for unemployment, because my job pays good, but it's nowhere near as good as a doctor pays, so I couldn't be able to pay the house and all the bills just on my job, so we would be doing unemployment as well. Love that stuff. Good deal, man. Best tire shine from Walmart. I don't think Walmart has, what's it called, Coverall anymore. They used to. Check out Coverall. It's in a blue bottle. But if I had to tell you right now, for a high shine, go get the Meguiar's Ultimate. I have it in the can. Let me show it to you real quick for you if you want a high shine. If you want a lower shine, definitely check out like the gel, tire gel. So hold on, buddy. This is the Meguiar's Insane Shine Tire Coating. Essentially, I don't know. I know it's a little dark right here. I don't know why. But essentially what this was Dub Tire Shine. I know it was because Meguiar's made Dub. However, if you want something else like a gel or something, look at one of the Meguiar's gels or something like that. That should be fine. Maybe in the Grills Garage if you can get that like at AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts. Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer is actually a pretty decent product. You should give it a try. I wasn't a big fan of the ceramic wax. I was not as well. David Cunningham, I'm 100% with you on that one. I bought it, by the way, brother. I don't understand why the screen looks so stinking dark. I'm going to see if I can get it to refocus again. I don't know. The screen from me on my end looks like it's really dark. Bear with me. See, I actually have it. I just haven't had a chance to actually try it out, but bear with me. I did buy it. I'm sure every YouTuber and their brothers tried the stuff. I wasn't a big fan of their actually spray-on the ceramic wax at all. It didn't last in the Florida heat. One thing I try and will always do, I'm not the big YouTube channels. I don't really care to be big. But when I did is I made this video. I followed those instructions step by step. I showed it. I proved it. And I even took a picture. If you watch that video, I actually took a picture of the back label and posted on there because people, you know, of course have to open their mouth and say, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, oh, really, homeboy? No, you're probably doing it wrong. And I put it out here, everyday vehicle, the van, and I showed you guys real length results, and people were shocked. They're like, your crap's wrong. And I'm like, really? Go watch the video. And, you know, and they were pissed, you know, and people don't like to be wrong. Everybody admits that. So it was pretty funny in my part when I saw that. Hey, man, we spoke in Facebook Messenger from Hunter's Creek. Yes, I ended up using Turtle X Steel and China Camaro. Loved it. Good. Kairos, yeah, you don't live very far from me. You're probably 15, 20 minutes from me. I'm right over here on East Lake Tahoe, so we live on East Lake. So I'm not far from you, but I highly recommend that stuff. I'm sure you now probably already figured out for yourself. No more than like 2 sprays per section, just like the ceramic black wax here that I did review on last week. This is essentially, if I had to guess, my own guess here, this is Seal and Shine, but it has the pigment for black. That's what I think this is. This is Ice Seal and Shine because it is a carbon waste, just like the Seal and Shine, but it's made for black. So if I had to guess, it's the same thing. Do not over apply it because you will get some streaks. Hell, I even got 1 or 2 streaks on the black van here. I'd walk away and I'm like, oh, it looks good. And I walk away, I'm like, oh man, I missed a spot. And you have to go back there and you have to buff it out a little bit. So, you know, all of us, I'm not perfect by any means, but just want to let you know that don't go wild with it, but you will love it. It will repel and repel and repel. So that's why, I mean, if I use it on the GTR, I'm going to tell you right now, that's the way I want it. This is really weird. I do not know why the camera seems so dark tonight. How you doing, Brian? What's going on, buddy? Quarantine. No, I still work. I mean, it's busy. Let's put it this way. The job I work at in the shipping industry, they actually ran out of delivery trucks on, I want to say it was Thursday or Friday. They ran out of delivery trucks. Normally you have a couple extra lane, will get, you know, parked along the fence, stuff like that for, you know, let's say one breaks down or something like that. They always have at least a couple rotation. And then for at Christmas time, when of course it's peak season, but they ran out. I've heard of some buildings that are already renting the U-Hauls and Penske trucks again to beef up their fleet. So that should be really interesting if that starts happening here. But yeah, we don't have any issues with it. But my wife is definitely seeing a huge dramatic decrease, of course, in patients because being a doctor and she's a family practice doctor, people are too scared to go into the hospital, or not the hospital, but even the medical clinic. So I hope it ends soon. I hope Florida opens up in the next week. I'd like to see things get back to normal. I would like to go do things again like normal. So we'll see. I heard the Kennedy Space Center is closed. SpaceX is planning on doing their crew launch. I know Freedom Flights, I would assume that would be considered essential. If True Value and Home Depot can be open, SpaceX is definitely going to be open, launching their people. So they'll definitely launch. I don't see an issue with that whatsoever. It is going to be essential, you know, so I don't see a problem with it. I see them all the time when they do launch here, because if I had to guess, in a straight line, we're maybe like 35, 40 miles. So you'll see this orange dot going up like this in the sky whenever you see a big launch. Best glass cleaner, I'd say Stoner Car Clear Invisible Glass. I also use Meguiar's, and I use even Armor All. People are shocked about that. I like the Armor All glass cleaner as much as the rest, but if I could say something, I would use that. I liked Masterson's because Masterson's here had the actual, what's it called in it? Had like a rain repellent in it as well, kind of thing. Like not really a Rain-X, but some kind of repelling action. So I would use that all the time. But if you can get them over the counter, Stoner Car Care Invisible Glass. All the time. It's safe for tint. Use it all the time. No issues whatsoever. Haven't tried it yet. Been raining cold lately. Dude, it was nasty this week. Nasty. It's, you know, and I won't make videos for you guys on a gray, hazy day because it's not going to give you true results. If you ever see people making videos on that, it's because you can cover up the actual bad effects, because when your sun's not bright and shining on the vehicle, it hides swirls, it hides scratches, it hides buff marks, all that stuff, because it's not giving the thing. That's why people use a solar light, like a sunlight, to actually light up the scratches and find the swirls. And so by me putting it out there in the sun, that gives you some real world true results. And again, I'm not trying to be Mr. 300,000 subscriber. I'm just trying to be me and do it on my own time. But I have noticed that, and I won't put out a video if it's a gray or cloudy day. I won't waste my time for you guys, because it's, to me, that's unfair results for you guys. And I'm not trying to hide it, because if they stuck, they stuck. I don't care. It's not like these guys are paying me. You know, Turtle Wax is not saying, Chad, you know, let's talk over here, buddy. What's it gonna take to give you an A rating here, so that way we can push your video, huh? What can we take? They never have done that before, and so it's just, to me, I gave that a B plus. I never gave it higher than that, because there were some things I would like to work on, and they know that. But hey, man, it's just me, my 2 cents. But you know, why lie over that? Whatever to the old 2 cars, Bobby J. Bobby J. Whatever to the old 2 Honda cars. They're outside. You know, whatever happened to the old? They're outside. I drive them. The white one is literally right. I don't know if you can see the bumper of it. It's going to be like a white bumper. It's right there. That's where the white car is at, and the blue Prelude is on the other side, right by the front door. And then the Civic Type R is parked behind the white one. And then my wife's minivan is parked behind my Civic Type R. We've got way too many vehicles in this driveway. I need a bigger garage, for sure. You've been using Grio's Garage glass cleaner. It's been good. I honestly have never had any issues with Grio's Garage. I've never seen any like complete flop products from them. Maybe a little bit high price, but I love their smells. I love the quality. I love the bottles, especially the reusable bottles. They knock it out of the park. Because if you get one of the big giant bottles, it usually just unscrew their top, and then you order new product, and that comes in. Put the squirter back on, whatever, and you're done. Sprayer on, but we'll call it a sprayer, whatever. And I love Grio's Garage for that reason. Great quality products, maybe a little bit on the high price, but you know, it's like Adams or anything like that. Hi, Australia. How you doing, Timo? What's going on? I like 3D glass stuff. I don't have enough 3D products. I've got a couple, maybe like 5 products from 3D. Again, another good brand. Harder to get because you have to buy them all online. But if you're willing to buy things online, then I really think that's a good brand, another one to go with. Hey, Carlos, how you doing, buddy? What do you think of Grio's products? I just mentioned that. Freedom flights. It's sad when the first time humans launched American soil since 2011, we cannot see. Yeah, I don't know. You'll be able to see it here. Let me tell you. From my back door, so directly that way is East Lake Tahoe. So you would look that way towards the east, and then you would just see this little orange dot going up like this. So you could definitely see it, and you know, it wouldn't be a problem. You could just sit anywhere in Cocoa Beach and see it all day long if you really want to be that close. But from here to Cocoa Beach is maybe like 30 to 40 miles max in a straight line. And let me tell you, you can see that little orange candle going up like this the entire way every time one launches. It's really easy to see. Just went to my local Target product and have lots of Turtle Wax products. Wash mitts, brushes, buckets. Yeah, I've noticed, Carlos, they're really trying to expand. If you guys, I'm sure you guys watch a lot of different YouTubers. They're really trying to push their change of their logo and their name, image, the whole 9 yards. And that's good. I'm all for it. I've no problems. As a matter of fact, I'm really liking their new hybrid line. If I could tell you anything, just stick with their hybrid line, and you're going to have a damn good time. One thing I saw on their Instagram today is like they showed one of the pictures from it was Germany or Belgium or something, and they were showing glass cleaner, and I'm like, we don't get glass cleaner. Where's our glass cleaner? And I actually talked to them. I said, you can essentially have like Masterson's, put a glass cleaner with a little bit of Rain-X kind of product in it, whatever, that helps repel. And so I guess they said they used to have glass cleaner here in America, and I guess it didn't sell very good, so they just discontinued it for the United States. But they still sell it overseas, so whatever, you know, it's the way it goes. Best wax or glaze to make red paint shine. Brandon, I tell you right now, constantly on this is the Turtle Wax Seal and Shine on the GTR. It uses a heavy carnauba amount. So I would say any product with a good amount of carnauba on there. Of course, the higher purity of the carnauba, the better stuff, no filler garbage and stuff. But a carnauba is really going to make that red pop, or any bright color really pop. The protection won't be as long as, say, like a synthetic or a true ceramic. But if you just want to make it pop, like I do, and this is a Garage Queen, then that's all you need, guys. It's really all you need. That's what I would recommend anyways, because I just want to see that just bright pop. So either if you don't want to go with a traditional like hand wax carnauba, then try the Turtle Wax Seal and Shine, because it's actually a heavy amount of carnauba inside of it. It's not just like a synthetic or something. It's based on the carnauba wax. Have you ever thought about doing a wash and chat? Maybe I would love to, David. So I would love to. I have thought about many ways to figure out how to get this out here. I don't know if anybody follows me on Facebook. Last night my computer took a monster shit. I managed to get it back up running. It was all kinds of problems with it. I am thinking about going ahead. I told my wife last night, I said, look, I've had this computer way too long. I kept upgrading it. I think it's time for me to look at building a new one because it has all my YouTube stuff on it. It has all of our regular pictures on there, everything. And I don't want it to completely go bad, like the hard drive go bad or something. So I think it's probably about time that I need to build a new one. And I figured how I could bring maybe the older computer out here, maybe set it up on a ledge, like build a little bit of a ledge here and actually have a video camera, like a webcam sitting up there. So that way you guys could hang out there and talk. Maybe put a little projector on the wall over on the side so I can read your comments while we're actually hanging out. I have really and truly thought about that, and I like your thoughts on that one. I really do, because I was thinking the exact same thing. I would love to find ways that I can interact with you guys some more, have fun, and just, share the joys of detailing, because we all take care of our cars. We aren't all pros, but we still can have fun out here, and I figured that would be a great way to do it, especially, let's say, if I was making a video, you guys could see it live. I could put it up on my Facebook and have it just streaming live. You could actually see me doing the actual real things and the cuts and all that stuff, because you see me doing it the entire time. I think that'd be a great idea, David, but I just got to figure out a way how to hook it up and how to wire it. Even bringing in an older laptop out here would be a good way as well. My wife has more than one laptop because about every 2 years we usually upgrade hers. Of course, being a doctor, she wants to have like a big screen on her laptop and really good fast computer. And if it starts slowing down, she's like, let's just go get a new one. So we spend another $500, $800 on a new laptop. So that could be an idea too, David. I'm glad you thought about that, because I was thinking the same thing, buddy. Sorry about that, guys. Needed a drink from my Germany cup. Just went to Walmart and get some more auto detailing products. Plus, I go there. So, yeah, dude, we went to Walmart yesterday. Well, no, we didn't. We actually tried to. If you don't know about where you guys live, or at least where I am, Walmart's doing the stupid shit where they like wrap you around the building or some crap if they have more than like 200 people in the store. And it's like, Walmart is huge. What is it, like 100 and something thousand square foot, and they're going to limit you? It's the dumbest thing. So then they make you stand next to these people in this huge line around the building. So it's like, if I wasn't in contact with somebody before, now I'm definitely in contact with somebody, because we're in a damn line like we're at Disney World. It's the stupidest shit. And but we were going to go to the Walmart over there in what they call Lake Nona, and they were wrapped around the entire building. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not waiting to go inside Walmart. So we went next door to Sam's. There was no wait Sam's Club. And then we went down the street to Publix, which is a grocery store. Of course, they don't have that stupid rule either. So we just walked in and got our groceries there and was like, deuces, I'm out. Because I'm not waiting an hour in a line just to go buy some stuff at Walmart. Hell with that. So we paid another couple of dollars, for a fancy grocery store, and we just bought our food and was like, I'm out and gone. No waiting in lines. Another stupid shit. Do you still have trolls on your channel? Oh, always, Gio, always. How did the 303 touchless sealant last? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Caught some in my throat. It lasted me about 3 to 4 months. That's being real. 3 to 4 months max here in the Florida heat, Florida sunshine. Easy on product, no streaks, nothing. You can reapply it, super simple, but if you want a real world, it's probably about 3 to 4 months before I started seeing any real fading. Again, some of those, got some in my mouth, by the way. You got some of the stuff, whoa, do not follow me. Hold on, guys, hold on. Something fell on me. I mean, you could do something like this, the spray, essentially this is seal and shine. If I had to guess, of course, I don't know the background of it, but if I had to guess, this is seal and shine, which would last you about 6 months, easy with it. So that's going to outlast you, but 303 is still really good. With that, you'd be very, very careful to not spray too much, otherwise you will get some streakings. And then if you do, have fun, because now you're going to be buffing it all off, and it's kind of a pain in the neck. Where that, you can spray it on as much as you want. I never had one issue with actual streaking or whatever, so that's the way it goes. How much longer do you think this quarantine? I would say in normal states that don't have hot spots, I would say the next week or two you're going to see massive openings. Florida just reopened their beaches, so it's whatever. I figured 2 weeks max, you're going to see half the country open. 2 weeks very max, if not even more. I'd say most of the Midwest will be opened. A lot of the Northwest, you're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff open. But like New York, New Jersey, maybe a couple weeks later. But I would say most states, like Texas said they're opening next week or this coming week anyways. So you'll see a lot more. I think Florida will be right behind them in the next week, if not sooner. I think a lot of the states, like the states that, you got 500 cases for the entire state. It's like, oh, okay, so we're going to shut it down for 20 million people for 500, that kind of thing. I see them opening it up in the first week or two. Real quick here. Favorite soap. This is a good one I get asked all the time, Carlos. There's two of my favorite soaps that I would give you. I would give samples to everybody in this live stream if I could. That is, I put my money where my mouth is. I would say either this, Limitless Car, Limitless Lather, super, super thick, super rich, slicker than anything I've seen. If you watched the review on this, I actually put my hand in the suds and I wanted to feel how slick it was or whatever. And I pulled it out and I tried to grab the bottle and actually slid out of my hands because it was so slick. I was like, holy crap. When your mitt is on there, the panel, it just glides off. It's like it's ice skating off. I'm like, this is unreal. I would say that, or if you're, again, another online product, the Wax Shop. The Wax Shop, all day long. You can get these, I'm sure they're on Amazon or something, whatever. And I get it all day long. Sadly, Amazon is so backed up like crazy that they're like weeks behind on delivery. So if I was to order from either one of those, I would just order directly from the company because that means you're going to get it in a few days versus waiting for 2 or 3 weeks for Amazon. One of the local Amazons I pass every single day that they built like 2 years ago, the parking lot is normally maybe 2 or 3 rows deep of cars. It's backed up all the way to the main road, like 5 or 6 rows deep. It is nuts how many people are there, and they still can't get enough people. They're hiring like crazy. So they're a couple weeks behind. You go on Amazon and we try and order something. I tried to do it, and I was like, I'm not waiting for 3 weeks and kiss my butt. And I went down the street and bought something. So that was what went on for me. How you doing, Paul Gordon? What's going on, buddy? Saw you in the Turtle Wax video. Oh, cool, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, so what Turtle Wax did is about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, they contacted me. Obviously, they contacted the other guys too. And they said, Chad, we would like to be able to use your video in it. And can we do it? And we would like to have your permission. Then, if you give us some permission, we're going to have our essentially like lawyers. They're going to contact you and they're going to have this big thing you have to sign or whatever that basically allows you to release your video to us. So I was like, dude, you guys have always been nice to me for the last 5 years plus. You can use whatever the heck you want to use. And I was like, I won't even question it. If you want to use any of my videos, do whatever you want. So I let them do it. I had to talk to somebody. They sent me a thing and I had to sign off on it, like the digital signature, whatever. Anyways, I did all that. And then I knew about it for weeks ahead of time, but I couldn't tell any of you guys because it was part of the confidentiality, which is cool. It's whatever. Like I knew last year when Turtle Wax was sending everybody out to Arizona, I knew about a month or two before anybody did because they wanted to keep it hush-hush. They didn't want to talk about their brand new hybrid solutions and let other companies get a chance to make a run on them. So they wanted to do it as super surprise. But I knew that they were going to fly us out there and I knew they were going to release new products, but they didn't even tell us about the new products. It was just kind of like I ain't telling nobody and that's totally cool, whatever. That was the way that went down. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why I got something like I got phlegm in my throat. It's driving me nuts. Can a coating left by a wash and coat type of soap compare to anything like Turtle Wax Steel and Shine? Not even close. Not even close. Like their ceramic wash and wax, it might have just a smidge of the ceramic wax in it. But there is no comparison to their actual true ceramic spray wax. There's nothing that compares to it. I haven't seen anything. And I'm very serious about this. I haven't seen anything that beats this yet. Nothing. Without going all the way up to a true ceramic, I haven't seen anything that beats this. Nothing. And I've tried it. Now, you know me, guys. I buy everything and I try everything. I don't care if I spend the money on it. I don't care if it's $20. I'll buy it. As long as it's a normal, reasonable stuff over the counter or whatever, I'll buy it. I haven't seen anything reasonable over the counter you can buy that can beat that, especially longevity. Nothing beats it. Ease of application, you don't have to worry about over applying that because you don't have to worry about streaking like you do with the Seal and Shine because it's a synthetic base versus the Carnauba base. But that's just, no, there's no comparison, and I told them that. I was like, when I did the review of this and I tested out myself, actually at Arizona, I was by myself in the back lot and they were letting us all test it and I told him, I was like, I would like to see more suds and I'd like to see more slickness on this. I was like, the suds were dying in the Arizona sun, and I live in Florida that's just as hot, if not hotter, especially with the humidity. And I said, the suds are dying too fast and stuff. They're like, all right, cool. And, and I told him, I said, this is real world results here. I said, we're seeing it now. The coating, once I put on, I'll give you an example. So I was working on Audi by myself. Nobody was out there with me. I put this next to it, and then I did a little bit of the section with this. So that way I could see literally like a 50-50 and see the difference. Both of these completely blew that away. This is pretty good, by the way, real easy to use, especially when it's wet. But the ceramic just, it just killed it. So I was just like, yeah, just give me a regular soap. And that's what I told him. I literally told him that. Just give me a regular soap that is amazing in the foam cannon, amazing in the 2-bucket method, great slickness, tons of foam. Make me feel like I'm actually washing it, not just putting water on my car. I said, that's all you want. If you want to put a wax on it, use one of these other products. Don't try and mix it, and that's what I told him. So, I mean, the fact is that the Turtle Wax can handle that kind of criticism, and they take it in stride, and I like that about it. I mean, they flew us all out to Arizona to put us up in that nice hotel, and yet I told them I wasn't thrilled with their product. I was like, it's fine, but it's just not for me. And I told them why. I think super, super cool group. I like that about them. But yeah, you can't compete. You cannot compete. And there's no wash and wax that's going to compare to a good straight up spray wax or spray sealant. Can you make a video comparison on all the black waxes to see? The only black wax currently I have is this Turtle Wax stuff. It's great. They're both great products. Are they going to, is the wax going to do, perfectly correct all the swirls? No, of course not. It's going to help fill in a lot of them, but the swirls aren't going to be gone. But it's just like a seal and shine. If I had to guess, it is a seal and shine with a little bit of black tint to it. That's my 2 cents there. I'm not going to say anything. Still haven't used that Turtle Wax wash and wax yet. We'll use it tomorrow. Are you in a commercial? Yes, I am in a commercial. So apparently Turtle Wax, once they contacted us about a month and a half ago, they are using little clips of each one of our videos and putting them in these. They're going to have 5 different commercials. Each one of them are going to be 30 seconds or a minute long. So you're going to see them if you're watching I think it's all the car channels and guide channels. Basically, you're going to see that on, of course, your YouTube, your Instagram, your Facebook. You're going to see that kind of stuff as well. So if you follow Turtle Wax, you'll be able to see all my stuff that I'm in, the little clips, and you'll see all the other YouTubers there that I met out there, as well as just generally, you'll see all that stuff on TV. So it was a real thrill that somebody would even consider me because, like I said, when you're 30-something thousand subscribers, and you're not a professional guy in a lab coat with lab gloves on, some people don't take you seriously, and that's cool. I don't care. I'm not trying to be taken seriously. I try and be taken as the guy that's just going to walk into Walmart, look at the thing, and say, which products do I want from my car? I'm not going to buy $100 for that wax. I'm not going to do it. What wax can I buy that's going to make my car look good? This is about $14.99. I'll take this instead. Thank you. And I want to be that guy. I want to be known as the average guy that buys the regular stuff and just gives you lab jacket, lab gloves on. That's not me. That's most people actually. Most people aren't like that. So I wanted to always be known as that. So yeah, it was really cool that they actually considered me, and that's cool. I've told them in the past, I'm like, anything you guys ever need from me, just call me up. I was like, you know my phone number, you can ask me anything you want. And they have, and I like that. I like the end result. Anthony, when I see the end results of a car that is filthy, example, when I first took the minivan, about 2 weeks ago now, I've had it now 2 or 3 weeks, I've had the minivan. When I first took it to make the videos for you guys, this poor van, it was not in the best shape. Okay, it scratches everywhere in the paint. You guys got to see, especially on the actual hood. The hood, for some reason, was 10 times worse than the actual sides of the car. The sides had some swirls in it, of course, but nothing like top. When it was finally done, and this black is just gorgeous. I mean, I don't know why this camera is so dark looking right now. Maybe it doesn't show up dark to you guys, but at least it does for me. When I look at it now, the shine is comparable to the GTR shine. It is just amazing what can be done once you put a little bit of work into your vehicles. And I take big pride in my vehicles because we spend so much money on them. I mean, the GTR was, I think the GTR I paid $64,000 for. I've already paid it off. My wife's minivan, I think out the door was $30-something thousand. My blue Prelude, I bought when it was 5 years old. I bought it for $14,500. My Civic Type R out the door was, what was it, around $37,000 or $38,000? It was somewhere around there, $38,000 for the Civic Type R. So I spend so much money. So when I see a car that goes from just dirty to gorgeous, it really just blows my mind. And I think that's the best part for me to detail, because I've always taken really good care of my vehicles because we spend so much money on them. You're not going to go out there and trash them and stuff, especially when your hard-earned money every day of the week is going to be going to help pay the loan. You got to pay insurance on those vehicles. That to me is the biggest thing, to make sure that when I'm done, I'm just like, yeah, I'm proud to be driving this. You know, I like this. Carport reset or chemical eyes, Mr. Pink. Carport reset was okay. Mr. Pink is okay. Mr. Pink does a stellar in a foam cannon, though. Just stellar in a foam cannon. Most chemical guys do. They do really good, but they're really piss poor in a 2-bucket method. So I'd probably lean towards Carport reset for like a weekly wash versus the Mr. Pink. Do you spice cleaning inside the windows much? Well, normally, I was taught as a young boy, we don't touch the glass. Now, I hope that you don't touch the glass either. So, but I don't go and touch the glass on my car. Every time I'm driving, my hands, arms, nothing goes near the glass inside the car. My hands are usually on the armrests, or whatever, steering wheel, maybe it's on the actual shift knob, whatever. I never touch my inside of my glass, so I never have to clean the inside of my glass because, you know, I don't do it. Now, if it's raining and I get out of my car and I get some raindrops inside the inside of it, I might wipe it down, obviously, but for the most part, I don't really need to do the inside of my glass because I'm not touching it. But that was the way I was always raised, and I tell my son the same thing: do not touch the glass. You know, he might want to look outside or whatever, and he wants to put his hands up on the windowsill. I'm like, don't touch the glass. You know, don't leave the fingerprints. But that's just me. You got coronavirus. Ha! Pool earlier, and I was just fucking around out there and having a good time. Went out with my son. I took him in there, jumping in the pool. He doesn't know how to swim yet, but I kind of want him. We have a kiddie pool, and then we have like a big pool. So I kind of want to get him used to like figuring out how to swim because he just turned 4 years old, and I think it's time. I was swimming by the time I was 4 and change. So I want him to understand that he can go swim as well. So that's my game plan, is to take him in there with me. He always wants to go in the kiddie pool by himself. But I took him in there, kind of teach him how to swim and stuff like that. You know, lay on your belly, kick your legs, and, you know, paddle with your arms. So generally that's what I've been doing. We jumped off into like, not the deep end of the pool, but like part way up where it might be like 5 feet deep, 6 foot deep. So that we dunk our heads below the water, and then we jump up and start laughing with them and stuff, and teach them, hey man, you go in the water, you're going to go below the water, hold your breath, you know, whatever, close your eyes, whatever you got to do. So that way you can kind of get used to it and learn it's not a scary thing. Obviously, it can be deadly on a pool, but just not to be scared of it, and if he falls in on accident, he's not going to lose his mind. I'd rather have him learn how to swim sooner than later. Still get films. Yes, I do get films. So what I'll do once in a while is I'll get the film, like, let's just say from the dash up. But that takes like months and months and months. But it's not that hard to clean it. If you want to do the pro tip, they'll always teach you is sit on your passenger side of your car, spray it down, and then you can get easily up and down, even on the driver's side. Because if you're on the driver's side, now you're having to fight with the steering wheel, okay? So now you're having to fight to get around the steering wheel and all this garbage. Well, if you sit over there, you don't have to fight with the steering wheel, and you can just lean across and go whoop, 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 and you're done. You're done. It's just that easy. But I do that maybe like once every couple of months. But for the most part, I don't really have to worry about the interior. Any idea if Limitless or Wax Shop plan to ship internationally? I would think that at least the Wax Shop is a bigger company. From what I understand, they were bought out by somebody else. Like the Wax Shop was a company, I guess, based out in California. And then another company took them over. So as far as I know, you should easily be able to ship international with them. Limitless, I don't know. He's a smaller company. He's out in New York. So I don't personally know. You might want to contact either or, but I'm pretty sure Wax Shop would ship international if you wanted. How often should you use Turtle Wax ceramic polish and wax? Ceramic polish? The polish? You talking about the black polish there, Christopher? You probably, I don't know, if you're only just going to be touching it up, you could probably only use it like once every 6 months or whatever, honestly, and you should be fine, unless you wanted like perfection, like swirls gone, which at that point I would tell you to get a real true polish or compound. Yeah, probably 6 months should last you, because on top of that, once you're done, like when I was done with it, I came back and hit it up with the actual ceramic black wax because a polishing wax has some wax in it, but it's not a lot. So I came back and hit it with this, which will really, really boost the protection, and you'll get a lot more beating and cheating with that. And that's what I did. So that should last you about 6 months. If you want to come back and polish again, that's fine. I tell everybody, rotate your washing mitts. Constantly rotate them, 3 to 6 months, very max. Rotate your washing mitts, because that stuff gets just naturally over time gets junk that's built up inside the little mitts. And then when you're out there washing it or whatever, you're actually scratching your paint. So constantly rotate your washing mitts every 3 to 6 months. It's $6 versus hours and hours and hours of polishing your paint. Just every 3 months, I just switch mine out. $6, I'll do that all day long. 2 days, Jesus, 2 days, man. I don't ever have that issue, man. Do you ever use bead maker? I ran out of it all. I'd used it all. It's stuff. I don't remember getting any haze from bead maker, but I know that it didn't last here in Florida. In the Florida sun, it only lasted me about a month before it was completely gone. And that was it, man. Florida sun will eat it up, especially in the summer, you know, when we're in the mid to 90s to over 100 degrees, and then the cars are baking, so the car to the touch is 100 and something degrees. I'm sorry, it's not like the north down here, and the products don't last. And I think that's what happened with McGuire's spray-on ceramic garbage. The 1 month is all it lasted. I even tried it multiple times, and it just didn't last because I think the Florida sun just ate it alive. And, you know, I have to have a product that's going to last longer. Best turtle wax soap. Right now, they're down to only like one soap. I think they're only even selling the Hybrid Solutions wash soap. So that's probably what you want to go with. But I just like there's other products out there on the market that I'd rather see you buy with your own hard-earned money versus just turtle wax car wash. I personally am McGuire's Gold Class or the Mother's Wash and Wax. Either one of those. I'm just old school. I still use applying carpet wax. Yes, Sovereign. Yes, great stuff, John. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But as you know, the younger generation and people in general, they want things quicker and they want things faster. And if they can quickly spray on something and then just quickly wipe it off, and it's going to give them essentially the same kind of results, especially like beating and cheating, they're going to use that over a traditional. But the Pinnacle Sovereign is that very, very high-end quality Carnauba. There's no fillers or anything in it. It's expensive as hell, but I understand what you're going with that. What up, man? What car manufacturers have the worst paint? Worst paint. Usually the American cars look like crap after a while. I noticed that. You'll have cars that are American cars that are only like 5 to 10 years old, like Dodge and stuff like that. And the paint is like literally the roofs and stuff are completely fading out, and they're like nothing. It's like you put your hand on it, it's like shh. I'm like, yuck. American cars are just, I feel like, or let's just say any cheaper cars. Maybe like a Mitsubishi or, you know, that kind of thing. Suzuki's. You get what you pay for in this world. You honestly do. That is, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, if you buy cheap crap, you're going to get cheap crap out. And that is the truth. Oh, man, but it was $2,000 cheaper than that Honda or that Toyota, man. I saved $2,000. And then a year from now, you have a part that just went bad in your car. Oh, did the insurance or the warranty not cover that? Well, that's $1,000 for that. Sorry about that, buddy. You know, it's just the way it goes. We're right after the 3-year warranty is up. Immediately you have a $2,000 repair bill. And then a year later, you have a $1,000 repair bill. So now it's like you're 4 years into ownership, and now you've just spent $4,000. And if you would have just bought that Accord or that Toyota Camry for $2,000 more back then, you would have never had this problem in the first place, you know, because they're made to last forever. So personally, it's usually the cheaper brands that usually don't last, and the paint won't last as long. Just what I've seen. Just daily, you know, we're all out and walking around, and you look, your eyes automatically notice this stuff. It's like, ugh, it's terrible. Old Honda paints used to have some problems, like way back in the early 90s would have some problems. Now, not so much anymore, but way back in the day, they had a lot of problems. Hey, AJ, how's it going? Have you ever thought about trying the glove box, monthly product samples box? No, I've never heard of that, AJ. I've never heard of that at all. I live in Texas. Are people going to grocery stores and hoarding turtle? Yeah. You can't go in any store. It's just the way it is. I work in a shipping company. I see so much stupid toilet paper come through. It's the dumbest thing. They'll buy the big, like, industrial boxes, and I'm not lying to you. The big industrial box from, like, Scott or whatever. And that's what they're buying. Like, I'm like, okay, so we normally buy one of those big 30 packs or whatever. We buy it maybe once a year, once every like 6 months, 8 months, we buy another one of those. And it'll last us 6 to 8 months. I don't get it. As a matter of fact, I was watching on, I think it was Ben Shapiro. You know, he's one of these big conservative type guys on Facebook. And he was showing, he's like, or maybe it was him or one of the other guys. Anyways, they came out there, and sure enough, one of the hoarders is now trying to return all their toilet paper and stuff, and saying, and they bought 36 cases of kitty litter too, or some crap. And the store told them, fuck you, no, we're not doing it. You should have never hoarded it in the first place. You're stuck with it. suck it up. So I was so thankful that these companies have all put their foot down and said, we're not taking returns of that stuff. You should have never hoarded that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely the same way here. Exactly the same. Though my wife went to Dollar General the other day, she had to stop there and get some party supplies for her mom's birthday party. They had a virtual birthday party, whatever. Anyhow, she said they were just sitting on the shelf there in Dollar General. So if you actually need any of that stuff, go to Dollar General. What's going on, Ryan Wong? How you doing, buddy? Christopher Boyce, anytime, buddy. 3D1 or 3D Speed. If you just want like a quick all-in-one, like just a corrective lot of the swirls and then a layer of wax, 3D Speed is which way you want to go. If you want a true paint correction, meaning you want the swirls to be gone and everything, then you want to go with 3D1. That's as easy as it goes. Either one of them work fine. I've used it both. No issues whatsoever with both. It's now going to be a personal preference on what you want. Again, if you use 3D1, you're going to have to put a wax on top of it or a sealant, whatever you want to do. And maybe if you have it perfectly done, maybe you want to come back with a true ceramic. Go buy a real ceramic in the little tiny bottles. Those are fun. But if you just want to knock it out one and done, 3D Speed. Have you ever tried the new Meguiar's leather detailer that came out recently? I have not. I am planning to buy a lot of that kind of stuff, but I have not personally myself. I have never had an issue with Meguiar's or Mother's leather cleaner interior stuff. I like it a lot, but I'm not trying to do one, so I won't comment. Honda Civic, I had paint sucked. Yeah, older. I remember that the older Civics, because I'm older than you guys, obviously. I got a few gray hairs starting to pop in, and I remember them for the day. Like it would be like 2000. And the 1990s Civics were already losing paint. They were just really, really cheaply done back then, and it's just the way it went. But they have since really dramatically changed on that. But I 100% agree. If they didn't put a wax on it, they didn't keep the paint clean or whatever, the paint, just especially on the roof, was just eaten up. Man, it was bad. PVJ, how you doing, buddy? Best all-in-one wheel cleaner tire. I use Meguiar's Ultimate Wheel Cleaner all day long. That's what I use. If you want to know, see, I'm not a brand snob. Brands don't mean that much to me. I'm willing to try any brand. So, Meguiar's all-in-one tire cleaner, love it, love it, love it. For the life of me, I don't understand this, but me neither. So, anybody who doesn't understand, this junk, we're going to call it there because YouTube is really flagging that word, that specific word, because they're stupid, is a respiratory disease. Okay. It has nothing to do with your ass. It has nothing to do with your intestines. You're not going to be pooping your guts off. So, why? I don't understand it at all either. But you have these sheeple in the world. They call them sheeple. Whenever one person does and one person freaks out, then everybody, That is the way the world works. And that's what the media is thriving on. And if people would just sit back and watch the media and be like, what? You would really be shocked about how stupid things are. And you'd be like, that's not true at all, and all this stuff. As a matter of fact, I just saw, I'm sure everybody's seen it, Florida just opened their beaches, Jacksonville Beach. That's where I met my wife in Jacksonville, Florida. Didn't live near the beaches, but that's where I met her. They were showing this picture everywhere of Jacksonville beaches just crowded and wide open. It just came out today, after they spread this all over the national news. That picture's from LA. Has nothing to do with Florida. It's from California. But the media is just blasting this bullshit everywhere because they want to hype the drama, hype, because that way you're going to get more views on it, they're going to make some more money on it, you're going to be, it's just screw the media, screw it all. But I couldn't believe that. The picture was from LA, had nothing to do with Florida. But this picture where the beach is packed was in California, not even in Florida. Crazy shit. Don't get me started on the rant. Have you ever used touch-up paint? I have. It's a little bit harder. I know you're going to have to basically take out the area that's bad first, like take out a small area around it, and then you want to use touch-up paint. Then you want to come back and like a nice polish it down to make it kind of even it out the best you can. Basically, get some little blue painter's tape, go around it, like a really small little chips and stuff. That way you're not taking it, and you can get a little bit, you can like etch the old paint off. It usually comes with stuff like that that'll take it off. Then you want to apply the paint. Then you want to come back there and nice level it off with some polish or something like that. What podcast do you listen to? I don't listen to podcasts. Sorry, buddy. I only use toilet paper after I use it. I don't like it. I just saw No Dollar TP stores. 3D1. Yes. So 3D1 is a compound / polish. It is not a filler wax or anything. It is a true compound and polish wrapped up into one. Nothing more. No fillers. No waxes. Nothing. Have you used any more aggressive, any aggressive compounds? 3D1. I have used all kinds of different regular ones. I've like used Meguiar's. I've used Griot's Garage. I have used Chemical Guys. I had no problem with Chemical Guys, by the way. Their polishes and stuff worked fine for my car. You know, I have no issues with their stuff. What else have I used? I'm trying to think here. Bear with me. I think I've used the old Turtle Wax compound and polish. I've used. What else have I used? Maybe one or two other companies I've used that are easy to find over the counter and stuff. I get that a lot about Rob Dyrdek. How often do you recommend using leather conditioner in your car seats? I usually might wipe my car down once a month if like for the leather seats in my wife's minivan. See, of course the GTR, like only the outside of the seats in the GTR are actually leather. The interior is that suede. So that help basically keep you in when you're driving and stuff like that, so you don't slide around. The Civic Type R, of course, is not leather. It's cloth seats, it's Recaro cloth seats. Both Preludes are cloth seats. So the only car I really have leather seats on is the minivan that my wife has. And that's the only time I use it, maybe once every month or two. That's about it. Every time I use that stuff, she always like her ass slides across the seat and she's like, "This sucks, man. Stop doing this to my car." Because it's so clean and it gives you that nice thing that she sits in it and goes, whoop, just slides across the seat. And she's like, I hate this, stop. I'm like, no, we have to clean the van. We have to make it look nice inside and protect the leather. She's like, this sucks, though. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's what's called clean. It's pretty funny, though. Is that Al Bundy? Thoughts on Chemical Guys, worth the price? No, it is not. Chemical Guys is very overhyped. Do you know that there's a difference between Meguiar's Ultimate Glue Cleaner and their Hot Wheel Cleaner? So the Ultimate I know has the actual like what does it get rid of the like brake dust or whatever. It eats away the stuff and it turns red. It has that in there, where the other one doesn't. For a fact, I know that the Hot Wheel comes in. If I remember right, it only comes in aerosol can, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that one. Where I find that I get way more usage out of the Ultimate Wheel Cleaner because it comes in that big 32-ounce bottle. So personally, I always just use that. Anytime I use like a foamer stuff, the products don't last that long. A couple uses and it's gone. Where you buy the big, just regular spray bottle of the Ultimate Wheel, and I get way more uses. Hey Chad, I just checking and see if try this product. You're calling Turtle Wax polishing compounds. I think I have a long time ago, but it has been many years, and I think it was okay, but I don't remember it being like anything bad or anything. But I'm not. God, it's been years. I know what you're talking about. It comes in the green bottle. But it has been a while, so I'm trying to think here. I don't know, to tell you the truth anymore. It has been quite a while since I've used that product, so I don't want to tell you one thing or another. As far as I remember, it worked fine, but I don't remember any specifics about it. So I'm just not gonna comment on that one because I don't want to lie to you or anything. I think it's just silly to lie. If you need hand sanitizer or hand soap, you can now buy some at Adams Polish's website. I was going to say you look like him. Yeah. That's the way I get that all the time, Pineapple. So if anybody wants to reach out to Rob and see if he was adopted by chance, that'd be great to know because maybe he was adopted and I was adopted too. Well, I know I was adopted, so maybe I'm a long lost brother of his. But no, I don't know the guy. Obviously, I don't. He's from Ohio. I'm from Florida, so don't know. Not correlated, but I know you like your smells. And what the hell is in my car, my house? Oh, it's a huge one of those beetles. I have the garage like kind of popped open. It is so hot and humid right now. It's ridiculous. There's a massive beetle. Sorry, I know you got like. I gotta know what's your go-to cologne. I'll either use like a place called Chrome, or I'll use I have some Abercrombie and Fitch colognes. Sometimes very like picky, and a lot of colognes are way too heavy and I don't like them. So if it doesn't have like a sweeter smell to it, I don't like them. It's just a personal thing to me. It's like a heavy smells just don't work with me. It's an automatic turn off and I'm just like, it stinks, no thanks. So that's normally what I do. How often do you condition the dashboard of your vehicle? Once every month or two. Again, most of my vehicles are garage queens, or they have like the front thing. So I usually do it once every month or two. Because I'm constantly flipping out cars. You guys all know me by now, having way too many vehicles. Lately, I've been taking the motorcycle to work almost every week lately, since she's been getting home so early because she's not seeing any patients, which means we're not making any money. That sucks. So I've been actually taking the motorcycles lately. But normally what I'll do is I'll drive a car for a week or two, and then I'll get bored of it, and then I'll jump in for another, next 2 weeks I might jump in another car, and that's what I do. So it might be another month and a half before I drive the first car again. It's really crazy. So usually my cars stay pretty much clean on the inside. Maybe just whatever your feet drags in, leaves or just debris from it. But the interior dash did pretty good. So let's be realistic. Every 2 to 3 months I wipe down everything. Adam's, I have not tried Adam's stuff in a long time, so I have no idea if it works. Where do you see the cruise industry after this? Hurting very bad. I think this is my prediction, and this has to do with everything, not just cruise industries. I'm talking theme parks, resorts, everything. Starting next year, will be jacking the living crap out of their prices. Okay, what I mean by that is, let's say, I know Disney World right now, last time I checked, when I actually looked at a ticket price to our season pass holders, it was $136 a day. My guess here is because they're losing so many millions and millions of dollars in revenue right now, being closed, especially when peak season is almost upon it. As a matter of fact, it closed down right when spring break was starting. People go to Disney World or people go on cruises on spring break. So these companies, I think by January, February next year, when they usually do the price increases for the year, are going to massively hike them up. And I'm not talking by like 2%. I'm talking a good 5 or 10%, maybe 20%. They're going to want to make up their month or 2 months long of being shut down. And the only way they're going to do that is by jacking up the prices. So I think that $136 is going to jump to $150, $155 a day at Disney World. I think cruises will go from being, let's say $600, $700, let's say per person for a room, will jump to $800 or $900 for a while for a room, because they're going to want to do it, and they're going to push it as hard as they can until people bite back and say no more, that's too much, and they'll stop going. Once they start to see sales decline is when they'll stop. But generally that's the way it goes. As a matter of fact, one of the guys I know, he was in the pilot thing with me. He is some executive financial person over at Disney. Okay, he's some bigwig. He's pretty crazy. You would never know it. He's like the bum. He's hilarious, like a California type bum. He's like, yo man, what's going on, man? Oh dude, it was real wild. And you're like, what the hell? And you're an executive of finance or whatever? Funny as hell. And he drives an old ass Buick, and you're like, what the, but he's really, really laid back and nice. And he told me, like for Disney Vacation Club, they continually keep pushing that up for the Vacation Club twice a year, and they'll push it up for $5 or $10 per point or whatever, and so people just keep buying it. So then they're like, well, crap, it's so busy. Let's put it up even higher, and because we got to start slowing down the rate of people at the parks or slowing down whatever. So they'll raise it again, and people still come, and they're like, well, we'll have to raise it again, and because they're trying to slow down the amount of people at the park because it's getting so damn busy, where people are now going to start to be like, I can't really do anything anymore. So people are starting to complain. So, but I guarantee you we're going to see that next year. Be ready for it. It doesn't matter what it is. If it was hit right now during this 2 months off, expect a massive hike. I bet we're going to see movie theaters start pushing up their price. I bet we start seeing a lot of things pushing it up. And that's just generally from basic finance, right? Why do you like Accord cars? So I was a kid in the 90s, obviously. I was a teenager, and I always liked the Honda Accords. I think they look good. I've owned 2 Honda Accords in the past, and basically I had the screen name Accord. And I just kept it for a while, and then when I made this channel, of course, I just kept it with Accord as well, and that was just kind of the way it went. I had, like I said, I had 2 Honda Accords. I tested before I bought my Type R Integra. I'm sorry, not Integra. My Civic Type R. I actually test drove the Sport Accord Sport Turbo, and it's a beautiful car, very nice inside, tons and tons and tons of legroom. Love it, but it just wasn't a Type R. And I promised myself back in 2000 when I bought my Honda Accord Coupe that the next time a Type R would be out, that I would go and buy it. So I bought my Type R instead, but I had no problem buying an Accord. No issues with it whatsoever. I just kind of always liked them. I'll end up, electrician was only about once every 6 months. Yeah, I mean, whatever you feel. If you aren't using the vehicle that much, once every 6 months, it's probably fine. If you're using it a ton, you're in and out of it, maybe you need it once a month. I mean, you're going to have to figure it out for what your personal needs are, right? Well, where the Pepsi? The Pepsi's not. I have coffee on right now on my German mug. So I'm representing Germany tonight, Deutschland. And this is actually from Epcot, by the way. Epcot. See, I don't know if you can see. It says Morgan for morning. Epcot, and I have coffee in here because Was out today. We did a lot of stuff. I went in the pool my son today, first day in the pool, and I was kind of tired. And I was like, man, I need to do a live stream. I'm tired. So I went and popped myself a coffee. So I had some drinks today and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I need a coffee. I'm kind of tired. Great way to wake me up a little bit more for you guys. Will the GTR sell for your full asking price in this market? No, I don't think so. I'm seeing more Type R Civics coming up for sale. I'm seeing more GTRs coming up for sale lately. People are running out of money. If this keeps going, you're going to see a lot of homes are going to go for sale. You're going to see foreclosed homes, cars getting repoed. You're going to see a lot of stuff because I don't give a crap. Like, we didn't get a $1,200 check from the stimulus check. We didn't get that because my wife makes too much money. But that doesn't mean, that's not going to be enough to pay our house. And what do these people do? What if their mortgage is $1,400? What are you going to do with a $1,200 check if you don't have a job? That's nothing. It literally is nothing. So I'm already starting to see Civics come up for sale. I've seen a lot of GTRs come up for sale. I think this is going to be just the tip of the iceberg. So if they don't start opening these states to work in the next week or 2 weeks, we'll probably see a lot more. But that's the only reason I did not put this car up for sale. I've had a lot of people tell me they'd be interested in buying the GTR, but obviously in this kind of market, I don't see many banks giving out loans for a while. Have you watched Tiger King yet? No, I have not. I have Netflix, but I guess it never thrilled me that I really wanted to watch it. How's that sound? McGuire's leather conditioner or Mother's Milk? Ooh, I love them both. I love both those, Camaro. I don't think you can lose with either one of them. How's that sound, buddy? And will you continue live streams? Yeah. Dude, I was doing live streams before there was even such a thing whispered in this world. You can go back and look at last year. The only reason I stopped and I really had to slow down on my videos is because I got very serious about changing career. I was flying every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and sometimes I'd even fly on a Thursday. So my time to make videos was severely cut back. As a matter of fact, for the last 3 weeks, I've been doing my online ground school for instrument training. So that means I can fly through the clouds and stuff and be legal. On these nasty rainy days where you can't see anything, you just go straight through the clouds and you follow the routes and the instructions and the maps and manuals. And I just actually finished my ground school this week, and I've already taken one practice exam. I only got a 70-something on it, so that's not very good. But then again, it was my very first one. When I first started doing the private pilot written exam, the practice exams they have, I got like a 58. So I'm doing a lot better. But like 70 is minimum to pass. But the higher you get, the less the FA instructor actually asks you questions. So when I actually sat for my written exam for my private, I got a 97 on that bad boy. So he literally spent maybe 35, 40 minutes asking me general questions about aviation to see if my knowledge was there. And then he's like, all right, let's go flying. You're good. He's like, I saw you got a 97 on your actual exam. He said, so you know your stuff. I'm not wasting my time. Let's go fly. And that was the way it went down, the final ride with the FAA. And so I want to do the same thing now. I want to do it. But basically, that's why I didn't make a lot of videos, because I had invested so much money in training. I spent about 15 grand to get my license, $15,000. So I had to put YouTube to the back burner, just the way I go in, and but I'm done with that. And now that I'm done with my online ground school, it's like, sweet, now I can start from my flying section of the instrument rating. And then after that starts commercial pilot's license, which will be like big thumbs up for me. Once you get your commercial, then you can start actually getting paid for it. Now, you can't fly for an airline until you have 1,500 hours, but you might be able to do cargo lines once you have like 500, 600 hours. You can be a cargo pilot, stuff like that, which is, hey, I can get paid now. You can go tow the big banners over the beach and parties and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Chad, have you found any truth in claiming that Turtleback's max power cars being able to good? I haven't seen any issues. I use it all the time. When I made the video for this product, for the doing the van with the wax, that's exactly what I used, and I had no issues with it. It does, in fact, strip the wax. I use it all the time. Anytime I'm getting ready to prep a vehicle, that's what I use. What you think about the Eagle One wheel cleaner? I liked Eagle One. They got bought out about 2 years ago, and ever since they got bought out, it just seems like the quality of products, like bottling and stuff, has just gone downhill. All my sprayers kept breaking on me, or they just didn't work right away from the factory, and that really pissed me off to no end. So I really haven't messed with Eagle One in a long time because of that. And that kind of sucks, but, that's what happens when these companies go and buy them out and they start being cheap as hell. Usually what happens, right? Look at our stuff right now with them talking about like the Chinese stuff. I mean, that's got us fucking, kissing their ass right now, and that's just stupid. From now on, I'm going to try to find the products, whatever products I need, to buy just stuff that's made in the USA. If nothing else, just something that's not made in China, because I just feel like they got us by the balls and it needs to end. And we wouldn't even have to deal with these dickheads if it wasn't for that. And we have too much crap being made in one country, and that sucks. So let's say they want to go to war with the United States tomorrow. Half of your crap is made in there now. You guys are screwed now, homie. You know, so I think it needs to end. And I think that's probably what happened with Eagle One. They got cheap, they got bought out, and now they're just shipping it over to China or whatever, and they're just having terrible quality issues with their bottling. How's your family doing? Yeah, we're all just fine. My wife is being a doctor. I said this earlier in the live stream. She's barely seeing any patients. Like, they canceled her on Thursday, so she didn't work this last Thursday. She will not work this coming Thursday because there's no patients. So what they're doing is they're kind of cramming it in for just 4 days a week, trying to like cram in as many people will actually want to show up. My son hasn't been in school, obviously. He was in 3-year-old kindergarten in how many weeks now? So that sucks. That's really bad because, you know, he was really learning a lot, you know, and maybe he doesn't speak as good as the other kids do in his class, but he definitely knows his stuff. Like my wife said, she's like, he's very, very smart for his age, like very smart. But, you know, his language skills are very lacking. So that's where one thing I'd like to see him work on. And he was definitely getting a lot better being around the other kids and being around a teaching environment. So I'm not happy about that. I think his school has some summer program they're going to do, so I am going to look into that. So hopefully by then we'll be back up and running. And I think it's like 3 days a week. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I was going to put him in the summer program. PBJ, you start out buying one car at a time, and it just snowballs into like a holy crap, I've got way too many vehicles. And that's generally the way it goes. So pay off one vehicle, don't trade it in, go buy another vehicle, pay it off, go buy another vehicle, pay it off, go buy another vehicle. Before you know it, you'll be in the same boat as me. On topic of the motorcycle, you sell the old? No, I sold that a long time ago. I sold it to actually one of my subscribers. And so I have a motorcycle channel. I haven't used it in a couple of years because I stopped making moto vlogs and how-to videos on that. And it has like 7,800 subscribers on it. I just stopped trying on it because I was like, and once I had my son, the whole world just seems to come grinding to a halt. I had a lot less time on my hands. But no, I sold that to one of my subscribers from that channel. They paid for what I paid for it. Because I only kept it like 10 months. I had it for like 6 months, and then I bought my ZX6R sport bike, and then I sold it like a couple months later, and I got what I paid for it. So, you know, I evened it out. So essentially, other than I had the oil change on, I put 2 new tires on that motorcycle. I got it for free for like 10 months. That's the way I see it. So I can't complain too much. You know, it's like putting gas in dad's car because he lets you borrow the car for the night. That was the way it was. I didn't have to pay for anything, and I just put gas in it, and you know, and did the oil change and put in 2 new tires on it. But that's it. So I thought I did pretty good with it. We're talking about keeping the clubs and bars in Vegas closed till 2021. That would be devastating. I don't see that happening. I don't see it. As a matter of fact, I see many of these retarded governors, like in Michigan, that's shutting down the entire state. Like, you can't garden in your own yard. There's nobody around you. You're gardening in your own yards. Bitch, you can screw off. I'm going to do what I want. Like, that kind of attitude. Like, no. Bitch, I do what I want. And I see a lot of them getting called, you know, they're going to lose the next election big time. I really do. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to get political with you guys because I don't really care about that stuff. Like, to try and start arguments is just retarded. But it's funny when her own people that voted for her are now up in arms against her. So it's like, ooh, not only do you have the people from the other side of the aisle against you, now you're starting to get your own people against you. Yeah, you probably won't be governor of that Michigan for very much longer. The next election, you're probably on your way out. You know, even if it is to a fellow person of the Democratic Party, it doesn't matter. I bet her and many others will be done after that. The Accord is very nice, very much more roomy. It doesn't feel as fast. It's clearly not as fast as the Type R. It doesn't feel as compact, obviously, because it's a big Honda Accord, so it's really stretched out. It just has a lot more room inside of it, but I don't feel like it's near as fast. It's a quick car for what it is, but it's not like fast by any means. What do you think about the people who hose down their engine bay? It makes me cringe. I don't have an issue with it because I've cleaned many engines doing this. Cover your electronics. So cover your fuse boxes. cover your alternator. Just get a Walmart cheap bags and throw them over that stuff. Do not get those other wet. Other than that, remember, your car is opened up from the bottom. If we pop the hood of the GTR right now, you can see through to the ground. Other than the little plastic guards, you'd be able to see through the ground. Same on the Toyota van here. We'd be able to see right through the ground. So it's made to get wet. Just don't get the electronic part wet. Just cover them up with a bag, put some blue tape or whatever the hell you run around them, and you'll be fine. The engines are made to get wet. I mean, it's supposed to be a sealed system, so you'll be fine. I sell new Hondas in their rumors. I have been hearing that forever and a day, Anthony. My wife told me that if they ever made an Odyssey Type R, that I should go and buy one immediately. Because that way, she has a minivan, I have a minivan, so we have like tons of room for family stuff. But it's be a Type R. I think that'd be the sickest thing in the world. You know, you haven't seen minivans being stick shift since like the early JDM days and back in the early 90s in Japan. Some of the minivans back then, you could get them in stick shift, which would be sick. And I know it would sell for 50 grand. I know the MSRP on that bad boy would be 50, but that would be badass. Now, how many parents out there rolling in the thing? But I can see that Accord Type R coming first. However, I think with this downturn in the industry, it's putting everything on hold right now, and I truly believe that. I've already seen somebody posted up the new Boost Blue Type R, and some of the dealerships were asking like 10 and 15,000 over, and that's just retarded. Whenever the new yellow, I forgot what they call it, it's a limited edition Type R is coming out. The United States is only getting 600 of them, 600 for the entire United States for 1 year. When those bad boys hit, I wouldn't even be surprised if every dealership asked 20 over minimum, 20 over sticker. And I think it'll sticker like probably like 41, 42,000 MSRP. I bet that you will see dealerships asking right at 60,000, 55 to 60,000 for that car, because they're going to want to milk it for everything it's worth. It's a Civic Type R, and there's only 600 of them coming to the United States. 600 period, and I think there's only 200 going to Canada. So, these dealers are already trying to rip people off. My local dealer wanted $12,000 sticker for the Type R, and I'm like, no. So I can't imagine when the yellow ones hit the dealer, it'll be 15 to 20 over, and you'll have some morons that'll pay it because they have to have the yellow. And like, just go paint it yourself. Go buy a used Civic Type R and paint it yourself, and upgrade the mods like the suspension and whatever yourself, and it'll be cheaper. But you know how people are. Are you a fan of some? I used to love them. I loved them a lot, but they kind of disappeared. I love their car wash. Their car wash is so good. As a matter of fact, Turtle Wax owns half of their products. They own the rights to half of Zymel's products, but I have not seen Zymel in years. It's been a long time. I haven't used Turtle Wax leather conditioners. Trying to think. I don't remember even using those before, buddy. What are you currently using to clean your tires? I really like Adam's Tire Rubber Cleaner. I tell you what. I use a lot of times. I just use the wheel and tire cleaner. I spray it all over my tires, and I come back with a little thing to rub down the tires a little bit and to agitate them really good, and then I just go ahead and hose it off. I'd be real as could be with you. I get lazy. I don't really want to whip out a tire and rubber cleaner, so I just use the wheel cleaner on it and just go to town on it. I put it all over the wheels, tires, and everything many times, and I just go and agitate them back again, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And you see them all brown up and stuff like that, and come off, and all the goop come off, and I'm usually good there. All right, Anthony. So I remember always going to a family friend's house. They were big time car people, and he was always washing his car. Always, every time we were at his house, he's big car people. And he was like, "Oh, you want to help?" And I'd always help the guy. I'm like 10 years old, whatever, 8 years old. I always wanted to help and do that stuff. I remember washing fire trucks with my uncle at the fire department. Many times I've done that before in the past. When we go to Illinois, they'd be out there washing. He's like, "Oh, you want to go out there and help the guys wash?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so go on out there, no big deal. We'll stand here and talk. I'm like, okay. So I go out there and walk out there with the firemen, being 10, 12 years old, and I'd help them wash the big fire trucks. So, that was always cool. And then, of course, once I got my first car on my own that I bought on my own when I was 17 years old, that's when I took the biggest pride, because it's like, it's my car. I bought it with my money, this is mine, That was my first car loan ever. I think it was for like $5,000 loan or whatever. And, it was something. But to me, that was what was big. And I wanted to make sure that red car looked gorgeous. And I spent the money. I tried all kinds of products. And I'd be waxing it. Every single month. That was me. Every month, that car got waxed. Every month. That was me. I would wax it and buff it off. And so I've been doing that like on my own probably since mid to late 90s. Late 90s is when I bought my first car. So I've always taken care of my cars, but actually helping wash other people's cars, growing up as a kid, all the time. Loved being out there, loved cars. If anybody said, "Hey, you want to help wash it?" and they hand me a mitt, I'm like, "Sure," and I'm off on my own, like cleaning with them. It was fun. I don't know much about paint decontamination with the wheel cleaners. I don't know much about paint decontamination with the wheel cleaners. So apparently, a lot of these companies, like the Meguiar's, you can actually spray. What he's talking about is you can spray on the ultimate wheel cleaner from Meguiar's, which has a whatever you want to call it, the stuff on the actual car's paint. And it's one of the good ways you can actually remove like the iron filings and stuff like that inside the actual paint. And it works really good if you actually see it on like a white car, because you'll see it looks like the paint is bleeding red. So that's what he's talking about. Essentially, it'll remove all the iron buildup particles, stuff like that, kind of like on your car's wheels, and go from there. You know what I mean? Think of it like, how people use clay bars and stuff on their paint to really remove all the junk that's embedded. Kind of think of it like that. That's basically what they're doing for it. Are you a fan of WRX STI? Seems like every one of these days, everyone of upstate New York. Well, where you are, Jesus, I just realized. So where you are, I understand why everybody has Subarus and stuff like that, because you need the weather and all that stuff. If I was living in New York, which essentially I do because I live in Kissimmee, Florida, which is New York #2. Nobody here is from Florida. Everybody's from New York, New Jersey, or from Puerto Rico. And but yeah, if I was living and having to deal with the weather or snow, I would definitely look at all-wheel drive vehicle. I test drove an STI. I really did. And I was looking at one of those until I found out that the Type R was going to come out. And then I was like, that basically shot that down. And I was like, I want a Type R. And then, you find out about Type R 6 months later. They unveil it. And then I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to pay off the GTR first because I had the GTR. But I was like, I really would like a 4-door vehicle here soon because I'm sick of the 2-door cars. And that's basically what happened. But I can understand why. But I did look and I test drove an STI. Are they pretty? No. But are they great for all weather and stuff like that? Yeah, for sure. And they're 4 doors, which works out great. How fast does that red, white seaplane or a Cessna plane go? Do you push it? There are rules. Yeah, there are rules, but no, none of these little tiny planes are going to meet it. So as long as you're under, under class alpha, the speed limit's like essentially 250 knots, which is almost 300 miles an hour. So yeah, and you're like, but they only let me do 70 on there, but not up there. Up there, it's like boom. When you're in a plane, most of the time, especially when you're taking off, you're always at full power. So you're mashing it all the way to the wall. So basically, it looks like a little handle. You pull it in and out. That's your gas pedal essentially. So if you want to pull it in full power, it's just like your pedal. You smash it all the way in. So it's all the little thing is all the way in, and you just sit there and go full power. And and then you use that while you're climbing all the way to your climb altitude. And after that, then you put it back in like maybe 65%, and you're just kind of cruising it up right there. The Cessna usually cruised between 90 and 100 and something knots is all it did. So maybe doing 110 miles an hour, 115 miles an hour is all it was doing. Yeah, that's way faster than you're driving on the interstate for sure. The average Joe on the interstate. But, you got to think, you don't have to deal with traffic. You rarely see another plane, and you're going in a straight line unless there is a restricted area, which is very rare. Like for military training areas, they'll have like restricted areas where you're not allowed to go in there. Disney World, you're not allowed to pass over it unless you're over 3,000 feet without permission. So as long as you're over 3,000 feet, you can go right over Disney World. I've done it many, many times. But if you're under 3,000 feet, then you have to ask permission from the ATC, the traffic control. And if they tell you you're cleared through it, then you can do it. Otherwise, you have to stay above 3,000. But yeah, 250 knots all day long. If you're in like a major airport area like Orlando, inside their 30-mile ring, essentially was what we'll call it. Like it's like a 30-mile radius ring goes around it. You have to stay underneath 200 knots. But again, these little general airplanes are not going to be. You don't have to worry about going that fast in it. Once you're outside of it, though, again, 250. Once you're over 18,000 feet and you're up in class alpha, which is where the airlines run, pedal to the metal. Let's go, bitches. Let's go. As long as you're over 18,000 feet, go as fast as you would take it. Boom, gone. You know what I mean? But yeah, you don't have to worry about that down here. That's the great thing. But I 100% agree with their freedom flights. I am very sorry about that. I'm feeling many people. My wife's job, the family practice office, had to take one of those business loans out from the government to help pay for their employees and keep the doors open because You got all these employees, but you're only seeing this many amount of patients, but you're used to seeing this many, but these people still want a paycheck. So that's why they're starting to lay people off now. Every Thursday, my wife is now laid off, and they're going to start, I guess, like a rotation system where a couple people are laid off in 1 day a week, so everybody will maybe work 4 days a week kind of thing. So that way they can cut down on their money or cut down on their expenditure of money, you know, try and save it. But yeah, her job had to also do as well. But it's not like, see, in the regular type of year, my wife gets job offers every single day. They're always calling her trying to, hey, you should come to our state or come to this part of Florida. Or you should come out here to Montana. We'll pay you. Like she got one for the Indian reservations. That would just do the Indian reservations up in Montana. And it was some retarded amount of money. Like, I want to say it was $300,000, $400,000. It was really high. And to move out to Montana. And she would get job offers all the time. It's crazy. But right now, nobody needs doctors. I mean, there's so many doctors. Most of the hospitals are empty, and they just have no need for it. So they're laying off doctors left and right. You are an emergency doctor in the emergency room. All the elective doctors for your regular surgeries, this, that, and the other, they've all been shut down. There's nothing for them to do anymore. Think about it. You're not allowed to have elective surgeries right now. So if you want to get your nose corrected, you want to get your face corrected, you want to get this, that, or done, sorry, you're laid off. You're permanently laid off. So nobody needs doctors. So even if she wanted to leave, it wouldn't matter because there's no jobs for her out there. Oh, there we go. One copy. But talk also is coming up on the detailing picture. Wow. Detaining picture? Detaining? Why are they detaining people there? What do you think the longest lasting interior carpets have brought? The little car bombs, dude. So car bombs, the ones that I have one right here. The ones you put basically in your car, you turn on the air conditioning and then you put it on like the circulation thing. This usually lasts me about a month or two. Usually a month. It starts fading pretty good by then, but you know, if you go outside your car for a couple days, then you get back in, you can still smell it within 2 months all day long. But those are way longer than anything else I've ever used in my life. Phoenix yellow, yes, Phoenix yellow. I remember, brother, being what was I? I was 19 years old. No, I'm sorry. No, I was just turned 20. And I remember walking in the dealership. So the Acc0rd dealership at Jacksonville at the time for my side of town was directly across the street from my high school, of my old high school. And I remember going over there, and they had 3 Acc0rd Type R's just sitting there. Nobody wanted them. Nobody. Nowadays, they're worth their weight in gold. But in 2000, nobody wanted them. That the world has completely changed. People liked them, but they were like, an Acc0rd for like $23,000? What? No, I don't think so. And so nobody really bought them. It was crazy times that you don't see until you're older. And I remember walking in there, and I like the Phoenix Yellow. It's Acc0rd Type R. My friend has a Type R. He was in my wedding. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. I really like this. And they were like, we'll sell it to you right now for $21,000. Brand new, $21,000. I remember that. And then I went down to Honda. Honda was down the street, and they sold me the Honda Accord Coupe with everything. I had everything added to it. I think it came to like $25,500. So it was more expensive than the Type R, and I ended up selling it 2 years later because I got so sick of those big payments for only like 15 grand. I took a $10,000 hit in 2 years on the Accord, where if I would have had the Acc0rd Type R, well, you know how history is. History proves that those things are worth their weight in gold, and it would have been a cheaper car payment because I would have got it for less. But these are the mistakes you make in life, and you take a left here, take a right at the intersection. Which way do you go? That's why I told myself when I got older, if I ever saw another Type R come for sale, I would buy the Type R, which of course you guys know I did. What do you do during quarantine? I work in the shipping industry, so I'm not laid off. As a matter of fact, it's very busy right now in the shipping industry. I've been at my same job, the same company since 1997. This summer, in 2 months, will be my 23rd anniversary. Been there, done that with the waxing. What's up, Toys? Been a while, man. Good to see you, Pooh. What's up, buddy? It's been a while, too. If you're giving me money, you've got 2 new things, pistols this week. New Kimbers. Dude, we didn't make any money. My wife makes too much money. You know that, Toys. So Toys is one of the guys I play video games with for what? I don't know, 10 years? About 10 years, since 10 years, at least like Call of Duty 4 and then, or Modern Warfare 2, one of the two. So, and I've met his cousin. His cousin, as a matter of fact, was on the same cruise. Weird how that worked out on his thing. So, we go way back to where I didn't even live in Kissimmee. Turbovax Hybrid Solutions are excellent. My just got done detailing my car, 6 hours, but I'm getting a buffer. Yes, get a buffer, dude. Griot's have a new action buffer. Yes, I love Griot's Garage. I think is it the don't it's not the giant one, but it's the one underneath. I think is it the G8 or G9, whatever it is now. It's essentially like a 5 or 6 inch buffer. I love Griot's Garage. The one I have, it's still sitting on the floor. I know it's kind of messy. There it is right there. That's the older version of it. I've had that thing for 5 years now. I've never had a single problem with it, and a lifetime warranty. No problem whatsoever. Highly recommended. Highly recommended, unless you really, really need like a Roops or a Flex. Never had an issue. So you're looking for a new PC? Yeah, Pooh, I'm going to probably build a new one here soon. That thing was giving me so many problems yesterday, completely locked up on me. I had to reset it, go into the BIOS, and like put in safe mode just to get it to restart and stuff, and it was just freezing every time. So I'm like, I think she might be giving up the ghost and telling me, you better start ordering some parts soon. Like, you want to talk about somebody? Toys. He's Mr. PC person. He'll build every PC and spend $15,000. That's him right there. He doesn't spend money on cars. He spends money on computers and stuff. So yeah, how many GTX, what was it, 1080s did you buy for the mining, the whole Bitcoin mining? You probably bought like 20 of them or something like that. I mean, he maxed out his credit cards and everything. He's one of those guys. New start playing a new Modern Warfare Warzone because Warzone is free and they have oh, sweet, Toys. I downloaded it, but I haven't played it because you know me, Toys. I've been really working hard on the flight thing, so I'm trying to stay away from the video gaming addiction because I played video games a lot, but I've tried to stay away, but maybe I'll come back and play with you guys once in a while. Used to use their glass sealant today. Amazing. Dude, I just use like the sealant shiner, the ceramic spray on my windows. That's what I use because it just beads forever. Do you know... I think it's only the one guy. I forgot what his real name is. He's in all their videos. He's probably in his 50s, maybe right around 60 years old now. He's the actual head and CEO guy. She's not even home yet. Obviously, the van is still here. I showed her a picture of the side-by-side that I put up on Instagram before and after, and she was really shocked about that. And then, of course, I finished the van, and then I put on the spray wax for her. I was going to test some more products on the interior for you guys, but this week has just been windy, very gray, hazy, bad thunderstorms. I mean, bad thunderstorms on Friday, so I just was like, I gave up on a video this week. Yes, I have a lot of guns, PV. I got about, 13 guns now. So I got mostly all pistols and like only just 2 rifles. That's it. When I peeked, I had 26 1080s. There you go. Yeah, see, I'm talking about, this guy he spends money like I do on my cars, on like PC stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about going ahead and building a new PC here. I mean, I kept upgrading what I needed to on mine, and now I had a really bad issue yesterday and I had to go into the safe mode to get everything running again. I was kind of like, I don't want to take a chance on losing everything I have. So I told my wife about it. I was like, you know what? Write off. So I might go ahead and buy a new one or build a new one, like I did. I'm still running on the old i7 from back in 2013, 2014. I'm still running on the same i7 because it was such a good processor. I didn't need to really update anymore for what uses I needed. You know what I mean? I'm an airline pilot, man. There's absolutely no one of our. I'm so sorry about that, man. I hope to be with you up there in a couple of years, brother. If you've been following me for a while, I got my private pilot. I just finished my online ground school for the instrument this week. I started taking my private practice tests for the actual instrument written exam. And as soon as I'm done, I'm going to start with the flying section and knock out that, and then roll straight into commercial right after that later on this summer. So that way I can knock out commercial. I'm also looking to sell the GTR so I can buy my own plane. So I have to stop running planes, and that'll be a lot cheaper for me in the long run. And that way I can build up hours, go fly every single day. If I want to go up to Alabama, pick up toys for lunch, go fly to Alabama for the weekend. I mean, that's just the way it goes. It's really nice owning your own plane. You can do what the hell you want, whenever you want. Ammo, that guy is a genius. He's very, very, very good at his job. Excellent. If you want to learn techniques and stuff, definitely watch his videos. However, he really only concentrates on his products. So if you want to get an idea of products that are over the counter, you're not going to see it from him. But excellent, excellent, excellent guy. Loved his stuff. I'm in New York and would recommend washing my car, all great detail, wash clothes. I don't understand. You're in New York. Would you recommend to wash my car? I would wash it on my own if that's what you're saying. I wouldn't pay somebody to do it, not unless I was like handicapped or I worked so much that I couldn't do it on my own. I would just wash my own car. Do you all think this crap will make it hard to sell a GTR? I'm seeing a lot of GTRs come for sale in the GTR Classified Facebook group. Um, I've seen a couple of GTRs in the local group sell last year. A lot of people are still interested, but you're seeing a lot of them come up for sale because of these guys. Our businesses are hurting bad, so they're having to find cash liquidity for their businesses to keep it all afloat and stuff during these hard times. So I think it would be a little bit harder. Haven't built a new PC in years. I bought the entire CPU tray. I assume it came out. D-line every chip and bin them. I remember when you built your old PC toys. That was a couple years ago. I remember you putting out the stuff. So I remember that's when it was all about what was it? Not StarCraft. I forgot what it was. Star Citizen. And everybody was like pumping money into Star Citizen, and nothing ever came of that. That was such a scam project. That was hilarious. That they took out so much money and never put out a finished product. It's like, oh my god, like mainstream video game companies don't even charge that much. Pilot's license money is an issue. Yeah, no, I had to really cut back on a lot of things. You guys know I pay a lot more money on my cars than normal. Like the payment on the Civic Type R is $615 a month. Normally, for the GTR, I was paying upwards of $2,000 every single month on the GTR. Just paid off well. Now I'm putting most of that money towards flight training to help pay for flight training so I don't get into a monster loan. Some of these young guys I see at the airport, they are taking huge student loans to pay for their aviation training. And I said, no way, no how. I'm just going to pay it as I go. Try and pay cash every time. Maybe put it on the credit card, pay off the credit card at the end of the month. But do not open up a new student loan. My student loan was paid off last year. My wife's student loan was paid off last month. So we're not doing any more student loans. I will just pay cash as it goes. Normally I would pay off, my plan was to pay off the Civic Type R by like next February, March, April. Pay off the Civic Type R, just pay monster payments every month. Kind of like I did with the GTR, but I decided, you know what? Priorities, I'll just pay $650 a month on this Type R and put the rest towards flying. Make sure you study hard for your instrument check ride. Airlines truly look into see if you bust a check ride. For sure, man. Definitely keep it up. Hard work. Yeah, dude, I'm trying my best. I tell you what, I was so stressed out the 2 weeks before my FAA check ride. I was so stressed. I found every information I could online. I found somebody gave me a link to their school's checklist or whatever. So I went through that like crazy. And when I went for my check ride, the guy was like, "You're amazing." He's like, "You fly great." He's like, "No issues whatsoever. Pass, no problem whatsoever." And that was the way it was. He did see, of course, when they sit down there, do their little typing the stuff in the IATA worksheet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got 97. Damn, you did really good on that written. Yeah, that's really good." So he saw all that stuff, and I was like, So my check ride lasted an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm sorry, not the check ride, but the actual the questioning was about 45 minutes long for questions. And then the actual ride was like an hour and 10 minutes max. We were already back on the ground. So as soon as we took off, he's like, all right, when we pull up here, I want to see a soft field takeoff or whatever. I'm like, yes, sir. Boom, whatever, knocked it out, boom, took off. He said, all right, now let's go out to over there. And he wanted to see that we did our little whatever sheet, whatever, the old school flight thing. That was a pain in the ass. I literally paid somebody to help me out figure that thing out because we always use iPads and GPS nowadays. And so I was like, what is this written crap? And he had to have all his times and wins. So that was done. And they said, all right, now put the hood on and we're going to go do unusual attitudes and all that stuff. So I did and knocked it out. We did our like 360s to the left and the right, power on, power off stalls. And he asked me a few questions. What would happen if this? Or what would happen if this? Et cetera, et cetera. And we knocked all that stuff out. And then, all right, take us back to the airport. We did a couple more, like 2 more touch and goes doing different styles of takeoffs and landings. And that was it. He's like, congratulations, you're done. The last thing he did was, all right, show me a slip into the airport. So we were way higher than we should have been, of course, on the glide slope. He said, leave it a lot higher than what normally we would do, and then put this sucker into a slip and get me on the ground. I said, yes, sir. Jammed the rudder to the right and put the yoke straight to the left, and the thing came in, crowded it all the way down. We dropped like a rock, and then I straightened it out a couple hundred feet off the ground, and done. He's like, congratulations. You did good. He shook my hand right there and said, all right, I'll see you inside. So I locked the plane, tied it all down, put everything away, and met him inside. He already had the paper in his hand. He's like, congratulations, you're your pilot. That's generally the way it went. Student loans. People get student loans toys because you got to get they want to be airline pilots, so they get your private pilot's license, then you're going to get your instrument rating, then you get your commercial pilot's license. Then a lot of people go on to get their CFI license so they can be an instructor. Maybe people get their CFII so they can instruct instrument. Then you have to get your multi-engine. So you see what I'm saying, toys. Before you know it, you have a $60,000 to $80,000 loan. So I'm trying to avoid that like the plague. And I've invested about 15 grand, and I'm just trying to swipe it as I go. You know what I'm saying? That's all I mean by that, buddy. Paul, do you plan to make video detailing your plane? Yes, of course, Paul. You know we will, buddy. Frankie, your wife is a doctor. Yes, she is. My wife is a doctor, family practice doctor. She graduated from residency in 2012. We got married a month later, and we moved to Kissimmee, Florida. She did her residency in Albany, Georgia, in Southwest Georgia. And they offered her a job to stay there, but I did not want to live in Southwest Georgia in the middle of nowhere, so we came down here. This was the only place in Florida that basically offered her a job, so she took it. Have a great weekend, man. Toys, thanks so much for stopping by, buddy. What up, talking after a long time? How you doing, Kashmash? How you doing, buddy? We're just hanging out here this fine evening. I can't believe we've already been an hour and a half. We're talking about anything and everything you guys want to talk about. You can talk about detailing stuff. We can talk about products. We can talk about your world as it is today, how it's changed. Whatever you want to talk about, you guys can hang out and talk with me here. I like that kind of stuff. Now you got to see some of the people that I've known for a long time, like Toys. He came in here. I've known him for at least 10 years of playing video games. Again, I've ran into we were on a cruise, and I found out his cousin was going to be on the same cruise. And I knew his cousin. Once in a while, his cousin would play video games with us. And him and his wife had just got married recently, and they were like, oh, we're going on the cruise. Oh, you're on the cruise with us? The same one? So we met many, many times. We had like food, like the barbecue pit and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. So yeah, we go back way back. He actually knows me on Facebook and stuff like that. So OGs, we're OGs up in here. Ryan, gallon size. The only thing I think I have was that Turtle Wax Max Power. For the most part, because I buy so many products and I don't stay with one, buying a gallon for me is useless. You know what I mean? It's absolutely useless because I'm always trying products and I will never run out of them. If I can buy a gallon product, I'll never run out of them. The Max Power was a gallon. I have that. I have that degreaser, the purple stuff that I use on the outside of the house and stuff like that. I've used it on the cars. I've used that, but it's nowhere near gone. I'm trying to think. That's about it generally, buddy. I don't buy any big stuff because I'm always trying new products. And in doing so, I'm never using up all the rest of my original products. You know what I mean? So there's no big deal buying. I'll tell you what. If I was stuck on something, I would buy Limitless, Car Care's Car Wash in the bottle by a gallon. Wax Shop also sells it by the gallon. I would buy that stuff. What else would I buy? There's a couple other things that I would buy by the gallon all day long. Any type of good snow foam. I've never had any issues with like McGuire or Masterson snow foam. Let me see if I even have it around here. No, that's not it. Is that it? Yeah. The Mystic snow foam. They sell it by the gallon. I'd have no issues buying it. Some chemical guys car washes. They're really good in the foam can. I'd have no problem buying that by the gallon. There's a few others like Detailer. Detailer I usually go through a lot of. Not generally a detailer. So, you clean your door, the door edges inside the doors. You might wipe down bird poop on it. You might wipe down just light debris on it. You use your detailer for when you clay bar a car. So that's why I would personally buy a big gallon of detailer personally for myself. What sealant do you recommend for maximum protection and water breathing? Right now, I haven't seen anything that beats Turtle Wax Seal and Shine. Nothing. It's a sealant. I use it on GTR religiously. I have not seen anything that compares to it. Month-wise, it lasts about 6 months all day long, and it's stellar. So there's no reason for me to go a different way with it. It's spray on. If you're going to use it, you better be damn well really light-handed on. 2 spritzes per area, and that's it. 3 videos for 3 years. What do you use for all-purpose cleaner? I have a bunch of stuff from anywhere from I have some stuff like Masterson's. I've got chemical orange degreaser was really good as well. I will use stuff from like I have the Purple Power. I have a couple other orange type cleaners that'll these be like I can get out all kinds of garbage with that stuff. That's generally what I use. Carper Reload Spray Sealant. I have actually the sample bottle of the Reload, but I've never actually tried it on the stuff. But so I don't honestly know. See, I actually have it. I actually have it. See, it's the Hydro 2 Wipe Silica. Essentially, that's what you're talking about. It's a sample bottle. It came with the actual true ceramic, but I haven't tried it out yet, so I do apologize. I mean, I've last year really turned into a not a slump for me, but I had other things on my mind. I were worried about flying, and at times it would get really stressful, and I really kind of just put detailing videos on the back burner. You know, and because I'm not like some of those YouTubers that do that, they actually do this for a job. Like I met, who was it? The guy and his wife, Miranda. I don't know if you guys watch him or anything like that. Very, very nice guy. Very humble and quiet and easygoing. Him and his wife are actually, that's their job and stuff like that. So they're getting to test out stuff on products. I guess they could do it anytime they want to, but I do it as a backup thing, as a hobby. You know what I mean? So I had to take a break last year on doing stuff, but I am trying to get out at least one video out a week, at least spend time with you guys. But yeah, this is what happened. Have you ever tried Extreme Solution stuff? No, I haven't. I've heard of that, but I haven't tried it. You know, I've seen so many products now randomly popping up on Facebook like crazy now. This product or that product. I'm sure they're all complete trash, but they're spamming so hard as sponsored little ads on there. It's really funny when I see it all. I'm like, holy cow. 81 Corolla F 1.8 found in a garage, no rust. Wow. Type R's are skyrocketing. Type R values are absolutely out of control. If you want to get one, you better get one soon, but I wouldn't spend more than about 20 grand on one right now, because unless it's in literally perfect shape, to me, it's not worth more than that. But then again, I'm one person's opinion, and you got people spending, they had record sales of like, what was it? Was it $50,000 recently for an Acc0rd Type R, or was it $80,000? Now it only had like 3,000 or 4,000 miles on it, but that's how much people are starting to pay for these Acc0rd Type Rs now. They're out of their mind. But the average Acc0rd Type R probably has 150, 200,000 miles on it, so I sure as hell wouldn't pay that much on it. Maybe 15 grand if it was in pretty decent shape, because if it has 150,000 miles on it, it's like, I'm probably gonna have to spend some money cleaning it up, you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna have to, do some engine work here soon, and new seals on it, new whatever I want to do here soon if I'm gonna keep it, because now that it's getting older. Like my white Prelude, I've spent, man, in the last couple of years, I've probably spent a couple grand on that thing, probably 2 to 3 grand in repairs. I mean, it had leaks everywhere on it. Had to get all new seals put on it. The head gasket went bad on that car. Alternator went bad on it. Battery went bad on it. Starter went bad on that car. I've had all new distributor cap and wires put on that car. I mean, that thing, it's a 91, so it had a lot of work. Now it runs like a complete dream. The air conditioner doesn't work, and the paint looks like complete crap on it, but it runs like a dream. But I had to invest money into it. So that's why I'm saying on Type R, probably maybe 15 grand, maybe 20 if it was like 110,000 miles. But the thing is, you can now start looking at importing JDM, Japanese models of the Acc0rd Type R, the right-hand drive, and they're only selling for like 11 or 12 grand, and they only have like 50,000 miles on it, 40,000 miles. So it's like, I don't know, unless you want to have that Millennium Yellow or the black, or the Phoenix Yellow and the black, and you want the American version, it's like, just save a ton of money, buy a Japanese version, right-hand drive, and spend like 11 or 12,000 for it, and you'll have one with like 30 or 40,000 original miles. I'll take that all day long. Besides, it's JDM. It's actually from Japan. It's right-hand drive. Dad life. Yeah, buddy. I have not tried the Cola yet. What are your go-to products wash in when you're not testing products on the videos? Usually, if it's not like, if you want over-the-counter, I'm usually jumping to Mother's or McGuire's for over-the-counter car washes. If I want the best of the best, I'm always going to go back with Limitless or the Wax Shop, but I don't have much of it, so I kind of like ration those bad boys. Unless I want to order more, I seriously ration it, because you get a little 16-ounce bottle here. Well, you get maybe 8 washes out of that, and I'm like, no, I gotta order more. Oh, when I have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of products in there. So If it's just a basic quick wash, I won't use the goodness. You know what I mean? I'll just use like Meguiar's, Mother's, Turtle Wax, etc., etc. As a matter of fact, the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions car wash here. This thing is almost empty. I mean, there's a little bit left in it, and that's about it. By the way, this stuff smells really good. That's what I would generally do. So I use this for a lot. I mean, there might be 2 ounces left in this. I'm sloshing around on the bottom. That's it. I used the rest of it all. So if that gives you any idea, I used a lot of the Mother's 3X. That stuff is really, let me show it to you guys. Let me walk around the van here. Oh man, I'm turning into an old dude. This, see the Mother's? This stuff is freaking stellar in a foam cannon. And it is 100 fluid ounces, or for your Euro types, it's 2,957 milliliters. So it's pretty stinking big, smells great, super foamy, super rich. Love this stuff. So I use a lot of this, as you can tell. But that's the kind of stuff I deal with. Have you ever tried Wolfgang? No, I haven't, man. No, I haven't. I haven't used a lot of Auto Geek's personal stuff in a while. Auto Geek was, when they sold out, and the older guy that owned it, McKee's, Mr. McKee, who owned it, sold it out recently, like the last 2 or 3 years. I just really haven't, other than ordering products from them, I haven't bought any of their brand stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying that they went downhill quality or anything like that, but I was just like, now that he's out of the game, is quality going to be that good anymore? Is it just going to be like, yeah, that product costs us like $8 a bottle to make. What can we make it to make it $6 a bottle? Cut out some of that? All right, well, Mr. McKee isn't here anymore, so I'm going to do what I want, that kind of thing. You know how most companies do. Once they buy them out, they got to recoup their money. Like Ego One, they got bought out. They're going to cheap it down so that way that you can recoup their actual original investment. I'm sure they paid how many millions of dollars to buy out Ego One? I'm sure it was, $15 million, maybe $50 million. I don't know what it went for, but they're going to want to recoup. Now their sprayers are complete trash. Their spray bottles are horrible, horrible. I thought they made the best wheel cleaner of any of them. But once they changed, it was like, now your nozzles don't work. You can't remove the nozzles because it's one of those Loctite nozzles. I'm like, this sucks. This sucks bad. So it really turned me off personally. I noticed one of your banners is Voodoo Car Care. Yeah, Voodoo. Voodoo contacted me a couple years ago when they first hit the market, and they asked if I would try their stuff because I already tried a few of their products. I said, sure. So they sent it to me, and I asked them, I said, can you throw in a banner for me so I can hang it on the wall? Rep the company a little bit. And they said, sure. And but their products are not very good. They're pretty piss poor. I mean, they're so watered down. I would not recommend them at all. And I told them that, and I'm like, look, I'm not beating around the bush, but when you're not even close to Meguiar's or Mother's or even Turtle Wax, I'm sorry, I gotta walk. It's just not that good of a product, It's funny because I still see their stuff, and they're putting out that their stuff works great in a foam cannon. Well, if you watch my old video, it doesn't work good in a foam cannon. So I don't know what the hell they put in there for that video. It sure as hell wasn't Voodoo Car Care soap because that shit did not work in the foam cannon at all. It was trash. So I was like, yeah, they're probably fudging their numbers a little bit to make you look good. They're probably grabbing like some chemical guy stuff and putting it on there and like, look at this, guys, But I was like, nah, they're just products aren't that good. I'm glad they gave me the shot to try it, and I'm honored that they did. I'm always honored when a company takes 2 minutes to ask me a question or two. Thank you just the general Joe's thoughts here, but it wasn't that good of a product. What would you recommend? Freedom Flights, I love those little car bomb things like Turtle Wax makes and Meguiar's makes, the ones you put in the thing, turn your car on, turn the air conditioner on, recycle, just put that sucker in there and just let it run for like 5 minutes. Oh, those are the best. Love those things. Highly recommended. Trump used on his limo. If Trump's not putting on some of the chemical guys $5,000 carnival wax, then I don't know what he's thinking. No, seriously, I would say that being the president of the United States, they better have the best damn detailer in the world out there working on the Beast. The big Cadillac that's the armored car, the Beast. I would hope that thing doesn't have a damn swirl in it because that thing flies around the whole world and represents the United States. I mean, they literally fly that car around the entire world. Wherever he goes, that plane goes with him. I mean, they sent out like the big C-130s or the Galaxy things, the cargo planes in front of him, and they prep it before he even gets there. So I would hope that he's using some of the highest end garbage there is out there, and that they're not holding back. And I'm sure they have a very high end detail company or a couple of people that they actually have a full background check that they do the work for them. They figure they have one, but on a black car like the Beast, oof, oof, swirls and scratches show up real quick. And if I'm literally taking my car around the world with me, I want it to be on point before I'm letting everybody see it. Do you still use the Oxy stuff? I used most of the Oxy car wash a long time ago. Second car I bought was a 99 Civic Type R, imported from Japan, white from, oh man, those cars are nice, dude. I love the Civic Type R's from back in the day. We never had them in America, so that was sucks. There's a lot of good cars starting to get of age in Japan now that you're going to be able to import here very soon. As a matter of fact, I think if I can make it to airline land in the next 3 years, 4 years, or whatever, when I start making a decent paycheck, even basic starter paycheck land, I'll be so tempted by then. You're going to have 4 more years of the 25-year rule in America that I'll be very tempted to not start buying a bunch of cars. Because if you can get like a 240 or something like that, or you want to get a Sylvia. You want to get the get some Type R's that we never had in America, like an RSX Type R, essentially the Acc0rd Type R from the RSX models. I will be going nuts. But then again, our insurance just went up again. We don't claim nothing, and it's still now $500 and something a month to insure all of our cars. And I'm like, this is getting out of control. It just keeps going up. We don't do any claims. I'm not wrecking any of my vehicles. Nothing. And they went up again, and I'm like, why? Why is the premium just keep going up when I'm not doing anything? The cars are getting older, not newer. So I wasn't very happy about that. I thought about calling Progressive, and then I was just like, and this time I'm not even going to worry about it because people I'm sure are raising hell right now how they can't pay, and you need to bump back my payment or something. So I thought, yeah, I'll wait on that one. It's the old Eagle. Yeah, I do too. The Eagle One, you're right about that, buddy. How do you clean microfiber towels after you get gunk in them? I usually have, as a matter of fact, I just cleaned my microfiber towels the other day. I used the Grio's Garage microfiber cleaner, but I've used that. I used all the Masterson's microfiber cleaner. I've used all of the Chemical Guys microfiber cleaner. That's what I generally use. I use a good microfiber cleaner. Follow directions, on hot water, so it loosens up all the gunk and stuff. I pour the stuff in there, and then I use it on like a light, low tumble dry heat, low heat. And that's what I do. I literally, it's funny you mentioned it. I just did that earlier this week. I washed all my microfibers to prep it up for the next thing. R34, the prices on those things are out of control. Like even a basic R34 is selling, I think, in Japan for like $65,000. And I'm like, ooh, you have to really, really want one. If you want like a badass one, you're going to pay well over $100,000 for it. And I'm like, yeah, no. The cars didn't even cost $100,000 when it came out. Didn't even cost $100,000, and now they're worth more than they originally sold for. Nah. Ryan, about the Mother's 3X. I can't remember if AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts has it. I know I got it I bought it from AutoGeek's website. I just had them order it, shipped it here because I was like, nah. It's just easier for me at night. Being that I'm a night employee, right now I'm at work normally right now. Just moving and parking the trucks, gassing them up, washing, whatever, running them through the wash tunnel, that kind of thing. So when I get home at night, it's easier for me to just sit there and be lazy and go, click, bye. And then I can go to sleep or whatever. I don't have to worry about doing anything because it comes right to my door a day or two later. Because I'm in Florida, AutoGeek is based in Florida, so if you order something, boom, it's here right away. Any day updates on house shopping? Movie fan, we kind of cut that off last year. We didn't really find any houses. We found a couple beautiful homes, like one that had the Lamborghini in the garage. I was like, so sexy. But my wife at the time said that was too much money. I understand. Thank God we didn't buy it because look at the situation we're in now. But we looked at the one house and it was badass, dude. Badass. 4-car garage, Lambo, and just sitting there. And I'm like, ooh, like the pool was sick. The back patio had this grill that was built in the wall. It was a huge grill. It had everything in it. Sinks, faucets, everything. Bathroom, outdoor bathroom, and shower. It was badass, but I think it was $980,000. My wife was like, no, that's too much right now to pay. And I'm glad we didn't buy it because look at the situation. That price alone, I'm sorry about that, I just cut out for a second. That price alone would have at least doubled our house payment. And in this point in time, it would have been retarded to double it. On top of that, of course, I began pilot training last June. And that sucked out a lot of money right there. So, and honestly, if I'm going to be a private pilot here, or I'm sorry, an airline pilot, I'm more than likely going to be moving anyways, unless I want to commute every day to the airline. And you get free flights. Don't get me wrong. If you commute to your hub, your base, then you get a free flights. Don't get me wrong on that. You're automatically pushed to the right at the front at a standby line. But that means I have to fly every day. So I would rather kind of live in base unless they put me somewhere like they said, hey Chad, you got to go to New York or New Jersey or Chicago, and I'm going to be like, hell with you, and then I'll actually fly. That kind of attitude. I'm like, I'm not moving to Illinois. I'm not moving to New York. They can kiss my ass, So then is when I would take the free flights. But if it's a reasonable place, like wherever the bases might be, then we would consider moving. And me and my wife have already began talking about that. So I said, well, maybe we should just double the payments on the house because we have the money. Well, in normal time, we have the money to easily double the payments on the house because we bought it for so low. And just keep the payments doubled every single month until I get an airline job offer. And then by then we'll only owe like $100,000 or less on the house. So just keep the house as like a Florida home like everybody else does. So we really hung up on the price. I just bought DA from Amazon. It says it comes with spare carbon brushes. Any idea what they should be? That I think is the inside the motor thing. Wonder what brand you got. Did you get some cheapo Chinese brand? Because you should have bought a Griot's. Honestly, buddy, Griot's Garage for $160, lifetime warranty. I'm telling you, I've had mine 5 or 6 years. I've never had a single problem with it. I bought it with the longer cord. If it were up to me now, and if money was no option, I'd probably buy a Flex, the new Flex, the power, the cordless one. The one that just came out last summer that's really badass. It's cordless. I would probably buy that one, but it's like $400 something. But that's if I was polishing and waxing all the time, and I needed something like that for just quick ease of use without having to worry about plugging it in. But that's me. I would have personally done that. My mom and I hit somebody going 70 miles an hour, but the Toyota kept us safe. Yeah, Toyotas are solid. I've never had an issue. They're not the prettiest cars. They're not the sexiest cars, but they're reliable. Vinyl wrap car. I would just wash it like normal. I wouldn't see any issues washing a vinyl car, like a wrapped car. I would wash it just like every other vehicle. Nothing hard, just nice, easy going. No like thing that's gonna tear up a thing. Like I wouldn't be using like Turtle Wax Max Power on there. Anything that might, hurt the vinyl. I would just use a regular car soap, easygoing car soap that have no like pH balance in the whole 9 yards, so it wouldn't have any like aggressive tendencies or anything that might ruin it. But I don't see an issue. Clean the pads. You can use the little. They have a little brush that you just basically turn it on and you run it back and forth. It looks like a toothbrush kind of thing, and that'll knock off all the goop. And then you can run it under some really hot water. They actually have pad cleaner, but I'll be real with you. I just go ahead and run under very hot water and get some soap, and I clean it out that way by hand. I put it in the little sink, the dish holder for drying, and that's how I do it. That's all I do, buddy. Yeah, I hear that little J a lot. Hey Chad, what's going on, Dalton? Been a while. You were on. Uh-oh. My son's trying to get out here. I can already hear him trying to open the door. What do you want, Nathan? I can hear him. What do you want, Nathan? Where's your shorts? Go put your shorts on. Go put your shorts on. Go on. He's trying to come outside. He doesn't have his shorts on. He's free balling right now. No, I don't. I've met him. He's a very, very nice guy in person. I don't watch these channels, so please bear with me, guys. I know who he is. He's from like Quebec, Canada, or something like Montreal, I think. That's what he said. His girlfriend was with him. My wife was there and everything like that. He's a very, very nice guy. You can hear that the French accent when he talks. Like, I was just sitting over there, and like some of the guys, they all knew each other, so they all like got around and like were like, bro, hanging out with each other. But I didn't pay. Me, guys, I don't watch any of these people. I kind of recognize their face from just like little thumbnails and stuff. But I was just sitting over there, and these guys will, I wasn't trying to like do it because I noticed. I don't want to say this politely. He's a bigger channel, right? So it was kind of like he was getting like that fame kind of thing, where people were everybody wanted to run up to him and talk to him and stuff like that. So that was kind of like that. But now it's just like me doing me. I'm like, I don't give a crap, whatever. I do me, that kind of stuff. And all right, come on out. You can come out. And see, he seemed very nice. Like I said, I was just sitting on the couch eating. Him and his girlfriend came up. They were talking, very, very polite people. Very nice. Like they were just sitting across from me at the table. And they were just very nice people. So no issues whatsoever. But do I watch him? No, I don't watch him. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people have been saying that some of these YouTube channels have been bought out. And to me, it's like, Hey man, whatever they want to do. Again, some of these people, Nathan, please be quiet. A lot of people do stuff on the side. You know, I don't know. For all I know, they have contracts with Turtle Wax and they get paid to push it. I don't know. Turtle Wax, I've always told these companies, look, if you send me something and I don't like it, I'm going to put you on point. This is what I don't like about it, and this is what I'm going to say. And I was like, am I okay doing that? Because if I don't like it and you tell me I'm not allowed to say anything bad about it, then I'm not going to accept your products to try them out. And that's what I've always told every company. I said, if I don't like it, you're going to know, and everybody on YouTube is going to know. So are you okay with that? And if they tell me, yeah, Chad, go ahead. And I've never had anyone tell me that I'm not allowed to say that. Nobody's told me to remove my videos, nothing. But that's all my thing is. And I know I said, just send me a banner. And that's what I do. Be careful, Nathan. That's my coffee cup up there. He wants to climb the ladder. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard of some people saying that some of these people are now being paid, but I can't comment on that. I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, from what I understand is Turtle Wax paid him, or not paid him, I'm sorry. They sent him and I guess Jimbo. I don't know. I rode with him in the Mercedes. Me and him were in the Mercedes together when they paired us up together. They sent them the products, the hybrid products, like 2 months before we were even there in Arizona to try out and let them know early. So any one of these hybrid products, those two guys got to try them like 2 months early. But other than that, I don't know. Again, I don't know. Maybe they have a contract. Maybe they do get paid. But I not me. I just tell them, hey, this is what I was. My payment, I just want a banner. Can I have a banner? And that's kind of the thing I want out of it. So that way I can be very neutral. I either really like your stuff or I don't like it. Like the car wash. I just showed you guys. They sent this to me. They paid me to fly out to Arizona. They asked me, can I put my stuff in your commercial? I said, sure. But I wasn't the biggest fan of this product. And I told them that to their face that day after I tried it. I was like, I'm not the biggest fan. I think you could do a lot better. And I know you can do better. And that was the way it was. So I'm honest as can be. I don't care. Could be he's French. I don't know. Pants or sponsors. The problem here. We all know this from just general YouTube. Once you get huge, everybody and their brother wants you to review their videos or review their products, try their products. And a lot of these companies, a lot of these big YouTubers now, they begin charging because they say, look, my channel is whatever, 1 million subscribers, a couple 100,000 subscribers. That means I have a huge reach across the world. If you give me this product and I put it out for you, that's 300,000 or more potential people that are going to possibly now want to go buy your product. What am I getting out of this? You're not just giving me a free bottle now because, no, I'm doing all the work for you. So now I want you to pay me. So, and it's true, many of these big YouTube channels will charge you. Now, I'm not talking detailed channels, just in general. You know, you try and get PewDiePie to review that. I guarantee you his manager is going to charge you 100 grand per video. 100 grand, like that. I know the one around here does. He wants 25 to 50 grand per video if he'll review your product for you on a car and dealing with cars and automotive stuff. So maybe these guys get paid. God, if I know. I'm not getting paid by them. Trying to move out of New York, definitely stay away. Have you heard of Portal Cable? Portal Cable. Yeah, I know that one stuff. Milwaukee came out with a cordless rotary buffer. I'm sure everybody will be. Try to get Grillo's Garage Polisher, but almost 300 here. Wow. Couldn't get out of shipped to Ireland, but there's some great deals on them. Huh. I wonder why. Maybe you can buy it directly from Grillo's. Have you tried going directly through Grillo's Garage? Pardon me, I'm sorry. Because, of course, Grillo's Garage is a big, they ship out everything from their warehouses. They have a warehouse in Indiana where they make a lot of their actual products. For Grillo's Garage is actually made in Indiana, which is, you know, the Midwest. It's right next to Illinois. So I don't see, you might be able to just contact them. They're an international company, so you could probably say, you know, can you guys ship to Ireland and go from there? I haven't been to Ireland since like 2004. Me and my friend that was in the Air Force over there in Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, we both flew over to Ireland and we stayed there for a week. So it's been a while. So, Scott, how you doing, buddy? You're more than welcome to come in. Everybody can come on in and hang out with us. I think that's sometimes hanging out with you guys is more fun than even making the videos. I'll be real with you guys. I like making the videos and I like cleaning my cars, but hanging out with you guys, just spending an hour or two together each week, to me, is a lot of fun. It really and generally is. I wish you guys could have all been at the Turtle Wax Hangout because I think you would have really liked it. You learn a lot. I mean, the fact that the owners of Turtle Wax were there. And you know, these big companies don't show their face. They don't care. You know, they're a private company. They're not stock held company. They're not bought out by a huge corporation. They're still a private company. And you guys would love that stuff. Getting to go around the auto car club thing and seeing all these high-end cars, getting to go try the products. I mean, what they had is they had about 10 cars lined up around back of the thing. They had hoses out and everything. And you could go out and walk up to every single car and try out any one of the products, their new products. That's the way they did it. It was just kind of like chill mode. Like, hey, here, we'll show it to you, but then you try it yourself. See what you think about it. And they just had vehicles lined up for days. And here, try as much as you want. Let me know. I mean, they had like 10 or 15 bottles each at each little station. You could go anywhere on the car you want. Maybe you want to go to the car next to you. Do it. I think you guys would all have loved that because that's the way, you know, I like to do. I like just hanging out and spending time with people. And you guys hanging out with you all it's a blast. And I think that's that laid back atmosphere I like. I sometimes get, you know, I don't want to be like, I never wanted to be in front of the stage as a kid. I hated that. I hate it. I've always wanted to be that shy kid. I've tried to get over that a lot, but I like the hangout thing. I think that's more realistic for what the average person always will do. Is just hang out by the garage, maybe help with their friend clean their cars and stuff, and just talk about whatever's going on in life. I like that a lot. You should ask Pan to sponsor your channel. Pan, no. Best bug and tar cleaner. What have I used that worked really good? Oh my God. Now I'm going to have to think about this. The Turtle Wax bug one that has the red top on it, that stuff is freaking stellar, bro. It's probably one of the better ones I've used. I have used, oh my God, I'm going to have a brain fart. Stoner Car Care one, the one up there in the corner right now, they had one, the wipes, stellar. You know, down here in Florida, we get love bugs, and they're just like locusts. They're everywhere, and you know, hit them everywhere. You can go out and drive for 10 minutes, and you'll have 10 or 15 of those suckers dead on your car. Well, you take like an hour or two long road trip, they're plastered, especially on the window. Even trying to scrape them off, those suckers did not want to come off. I brought out the little wipes they have for the bug wipes, and it literally dissolves them, and it just kind of like wiped off. It was like, you know, like, what the hell? It's all gone already. It's great. It's like a soapy type of material, and you just wipe it across. You wet the thing, and watch the video on. I've never tried anything that was quite like that, and I thought it was really, really good. Over the counter, I'd recommend either that or the Turtle Wax one. The Turtle Wax and Red Can, I actually ran out of a couple of those because I use them so much during love bug stuffing season. So when love bug season hits me hard in Florida, I don't drive my nice cars. I literally refuse to. I'm like, no, because I don't want to mess up the paint from all the bugs and stuff. Because there will be hundreds and hundreds of them dead across your car. And I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. Being a pilot right now is the worst time now, but it's a good time to train, and that's why I'm doing it as much. As a matter of fact, there's a YouTuber called Ludix Aviation. Okay, he was a local instructor here in Kissimmee. He lives in Kissimmee. Well, now he lives right at the edge of Orlando in Kissimmee, right up the street from me. And his channel's blowing up pretty fast. He is a first officer for Silver Wings, which is a regional airline here in Florida. I contacted him recently. I've been following him for a long time, and he told me he's free right now. He's like, if you want to start working on your instrument rating, but he told me how much his price is per hour, and I was like, ouch. His personal training fees are very high compared to everybody else. But you know, he told me, like, you know, it's slow for him right now, and that's why he's going back to training and instructing again, just because of that. But this is a good time to learn, because we know in a year from now, or even 6 months from now, the demand is going to be right back and booming. That by the time I get there and have my hours in 3 years or so from now, the demand's going to be out of control. So I'll be able to slide right in. You know, and I thought about that. I'm like, well, maybe I'll go fly with him, because he records and he's hilarious. He's always funny videos while he's teaching, so he keeps it really, so he's not on edge. You know, people are like nervous or getting yelled at. He just jokes and goofs off the whole time, and that's his teaching style. So everybody's having fun. So he always records it, puts it on his YouTube video, and his channel's blowing up like crazy. It's like 20-something thousand subscribers now, and he just started it like a year or so ago. And so he's really taken off, and I contacted him. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were an instructor for instrument. He's like, yeah, dude, I can do it for you. He's like, he knew that I'm right down the street from him. He's like, let's go fly together. And then he told me the price today, and I was like, oof, I don't know about that, man. It's a little high. So, but I might end up using him, because, you know, you get connections like that where he's already worked for the airline, and then, you know, if he trains you and he knows how you fly, and what happens then when you're ready to apply for a job? Oh, you know Lewis? You know Lewis? Does Lewis vouch for you? Oh, you taught him? Oh, come on in. You get the first dibs because you know somebody on the inside, and he can vouch for you. So I have thought about doing that just to at least get my instrument rating with him, if nothing else, because again, that's something to vouch for. So I'm like, yeah, we should probably do that. See, yeah, Nathan liked to travel on the ship on your Instagram. To travel on a ship. Nathan has been on 10 cruises already. So yeah, he just turned 4 years old last month. He would have been on his 11th cruise, and he's already been on 10 cruises. He's been everywhere in the Caribbean. He's been to Alaska. He's been to Canada, New England, where we flew up to Quebec and got on the Disney ship and went all the way up through, Quebec, and then we came back down to New York City. He's been to Bermuda with us. Where we flew up to New York and then got on the cruise ship and went all the way out to Bermuda. Yeah, he's been on lots and lots and lots of cruises. He's been up with me flying and everything. Give Nathan coffee, then lock him in the wife. Oh no, she'd be pissed, dude. Remember, she has to work tomorrow. Even though her patient load is really low right now because of all this drama, she would be furious, dude. She's like, I gotta sleep, which I understand that, She's been cleaning a lot lately, and I'm proud of her because my wife is not a clean person. She's a very, very messy person. She's cleaned a lot, and I'm like, I can invite people over now. It's starting to get clean now. Our house was so messy before, I wouldn't even invite any of you guys over to my house. I'm like, you can stand in the garage, but you're not coming in the house. It was just so messy. Now she's cleaning. So I did a lot of dusting for her today. I kind of wiped down a lot of stuff, straightened up a lot of things for her and stuff. And she's like, thank you so much. I'm like, as long as you keep trying, I'll keep trying. But if you quit on me and you just let it go again, I'm going to clean up for you. Turtlebox commercial. Wow, I see a PBJ. I haven't seen them because I don't watch TV personally. I'm just not a big TV person. But that's really cool. It's funny that I saw a couple of the clips. Like, they sent the links in the email, but I just didn't look at them all. I only looked at the original, like the 1 minute long commercial. That was pretty cool. I mean, it's fun to knowing that, somebody who never wanted to be on TV is now on TV. And that's really cool. Again, my channel is this compared to those big boys you guys watch. And they were like, hey, Chad, would you want to be on it? If so, can we use your stuff? And if we can, we're going to have our people send you over the contract so that way we're legally allowed to use your things. And I said, you can use whatever you want. I don't care. I was like, you honestly don't need you just need my verbal permission, but of course they have to have a contract. Says that you're allowed to in case, you try to come back and sue them or something like that. So, because I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, I'm this small and you're going to use me on national TV? That's cool as hell. So I've had so many of you all write me and tell me that you guys have seen me, and that's the coolest thing in the world, that I'm now national. I mean, I have a guy that I knew when I lived in Pensacola, Florida. He has a 370Z and he has a 350Z, and he doesn't watch my YouTube channels or anything. He's like, dude, I just saw you on whatchamacallit. I'm like, what? I guess I was on some I don't know if it was like a Facebook group or Facebook Live. One of these, I don't know what they call it, like a coffee show in the morning. A couple of years ago when my son was in the GTR with me, and I would rev the GTR's engine and stuff, and they never contacted me. Now them, I actually came down on hard, and they had to remove their whole daily episode because of that. I said, I guess if you don't want to do something, I guess I'm going to have to start talking to a lawyer. And I said, you use my stuff on your channel, and you never contacted me, and now everybody's finding out about it. And it was some big thing too, and they ended up pulling it down. They said, we're removing the whole thing. And they didn't want to deal with it. They wanted to give me a couple $100s for usage, and I was like, I'd like a little more than a couple $100, please. Well, we can't go any higher. I'm like, well, you better figure out what to do real quick. So that actually Day's video completely disappeared from their archives. It was pretty funny because I didn't know, they didn't ask my permission, and they just uploaded it like it was theirs. My name wasn't on or anything, and my wife's parents actually saw it, and they were like, dude, Nathan and Chad are on YouTube or on our TV right now. And I'm like, what? And that's when I found out. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. And I looked him up. I'm like, who the heck are these people? And it's some big, one of these like online like live things that one of these big, I don't know if it's TV or what, was hosting it. And they were showing my video with me and Nathan. And I'm like, nobody asked my permission for that. So that was pretty interesting. But other than that, like a commercial, it's crazy. Is it Voodoo? Yeah, that's Voodoo right there. So I got Voodoo here. I've got Rev Auto, Limitless, Stoner, Eagle Car Care, Eagle One, 303. I've got 3D Car Care there, Turtle Wax, and Masterson's. And then I have another one from Detail Ground. I don't know if you can see it. I haven't cleaned up everything right here. I've been a little bit cleaning at a time. This is from Detail Ground, the local pro detailing shop in Orlando. They sent me the one Vonix to try, and they gave me a banner. So I haven't gotten around to trying it yet. You are my fire. Okay, Lewis. Sweet. This guy's detailing advice is fire. Dude, I am a regular bro. That's all I am. Some of those guys on those YouTube channels like Ammo, whew, stellar. They know their shit from backwards and forwards. I am just a regular bro that likes to clean his cars like you do. Oh, yeah. One of these days, we were supposed to go to Europe this summer on a 2-week cruise, but of course all this drama broke out, so we were like, yeah, we'll probably wait till next year. And you know, that hurts all those little small countries, especially like the islands, like the Caribbean islands. They say like the majority of all the island's income comes from tourism. Tourism. Not like fruits or vegetables that they grow and sell on the market, nothing. The majority of their income strictly comes from tourism, from all the cruise lines and stuff like that. It's got to be destroying those little poor countries. I mean, it's got to be bad for them right now. But that was our game plan to actually go to Europe this summer for a 2-week cruise sometime this summer, and that was just like shot down really hard. So we don't know what we're going to do on the cruises thing this year. Obviously, we hope in the next couple of weeks everything opens up, which means the cruise lines will come back online because they're hurting bad, obviously. So we're waiting. Like, you guys can come visit me. We go out to the beach in Cocoa Beach, and you can just look out there, and about a mile off the coast, there'll be 3 or 4 cruise ships just sitting out there, just waiting. So they'll come into port once a week. They get rid of their trash, stuff like that. They get new supplies of food for the crew, and then they sail back out that afternoon again. And then they just park out there and drop anchor and sit there off the coast of Cocoa Beach. It's pretty crazy. They're doing the same thing in Miami and Fort Lauderdale as well, but all these industries are getting just trashed right now. So we want to go back and cruise. We're ready to, but it's just like, you got to let us know when it's okay. You like Terminator? Yes, Terminator is very good for like stuck on junk. Very good. You are right about that, Dalton. Thanks so much for the help on that one, buddy. New Orleans, yes, the gator bug stuff. That stuff was great too. Good memory there, Dalton. It's been a while, buddy. Have you tried Auto Fanatics Wheel Cleaner? I have not. Gator bug, that's it, man. That's it. Yeah, they're a smaller company out of New Orleans, or not New Orleans. They're Shreveport, Louisiana. Stellar bug removal stuff. Loved it. I had some bird poop on my hood and I didn't wash it off. Yep. You let it stay on there too long, you are 100% right. Those bug guts and the bird poop has acid in it, and it eats away your paint. You could try and polish it and stuff, but if it's too bad, it might be too bad, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. Met the owner of Voodoo like 6 years ago at Acc0rd. Hopefully they're pretty cool for you, Julian. The best thing about your channel is you're a regular guy who cares. PVJ, I really appreciate that. You know, there will always be great guys out there and some great channels out there, and I'll never tell you just don't look at this channel or that channel, because I don't care. It's your life, and you're going to live with the way you want to. I'm very much a freedom type person. I just try and talk to you like the regular guy would, because that's all I am. Those guys, a lot of those guys that I met there, they have their own companies. They literally do this for a living. They're mobile detailers. They go out there and are detailing 6-7 days a week, you know, on people's cars. So maybe they have some different aspects of it. But I look at it like how I am. I'm a Joe like you guys are. We go into Walmart, we go into AutoZone, we go online. We look what's good and what's not good, and then we buy it and we go from there. We're not trying to go in there and be like, well, today we're going to go ceramic the car, so we need to get all of our buffing stuff. We need to do all this, and we're going to spend 10 hours on this car today. I'm sorry. 99% of people aren't like that, and they're not going to have the time to do that. So I try and do my thing from a different aspect than other people do. Jamaica got hit pretty hard, man. Like 60 cases last week alone, 172 cases, 172 still compared to whatchamacallit overall, it's pretty bad. Cooper, you know that what I think it is, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be as straight with you guys as I point. It's all the Chinese people bringing that shit in. You know, you go to the Caribbean islands and you see lots of Chinese places everywhere. A lot of Indian places are all over, especially like, you know, jewelry shops. For some reason, you go to every tourist stop where the cruise ship stops, every jewelry shop is owned by an Indian person. You know, India is, of course, right next to China and stuff, right by down their area. And I feel like they brought it all in, you know, just like they brought it into America and stuff. So it's kind of sad, man. It's kind of sad there. I didn't know, Cooper, you were in Jamaica. I haven't been to Jamaica in, well, what has it been, about a year or two now on a cruise? It's been a little while, buddy. I remember last time we went there was it either Falmouth, Jamaica, or was it Ocho Rios? I think it was Ocho Rios, but it might have been Falmouth. I know Falmouth, we went to the one gardens they have there. It's a badass gardens, really beautiful, out in the hills. Loved it. The other one we wanted to do, whatever, you go walking in the waterfalls. I forgot what it's called. Really famous waterfalls there. Everybody does. But my son's not old enough, so he wasn't allowed to go, so we didn't get to do it. Is there a rule on pilot drinking while flying? Yes, it's 8 hours, what they call bottle to throttle. So you're not supposed to have any alcoholic drinks 8 hours before you're about to fly. So basically what they just say is 8 hours bottle to throttle. It has to be, you have to keep your alcohol content below 0.04. If you're a lightweight, then maybe it needs to be 10, 12 hours since the last time you had a drink before you go fly. But if you know that tomorrow you're flying on a commercial airlines, you better make sure you watch yourself, and maybe not. Just don't. Once you get home at the end of the week or whatever it is of your 3 or 4 day trip, get plastered, get knocked out. Nobody cares. But the rule is 8 hours from last time you've taken a drink to when you're actually controlling the plane. That's the actual FAA rules. That's what they say. And you have to have below a 0.04 alcohol content. That's the rules of the FAA. That's one of the questions you have to know, and that'll be randomly asked. So that's why they make those little terms like bottle to throttle and stuff like that. So that way it kind of rhymes in your head. 8 hours bottle to throttle. Okay, sounds fine. Yeah. Did you catch David Guetta's live stream? No, I haven't, man. I've been watching all that stuff. Usually I'll put on like Pandora or something like that and listen to music that way, especially when I'm riding. Here, I'll show you one of my motorcycle helmets. I use a Bluetooth connector that has you put little speakers in your helmet. Here you go. It's called a Senna. See that thing right there on the side of the helmet right there? That wires inside. There's a microphone under my mouth area. There's two small little headphones that go next to your ears inside there. You put them underneath the padding. And I'll usually crank on, what's it called? Pandora while I'm actually riding to work and stuff like that, because it helps drown out the noise of the engine of the motorcycle. Because, especially, not so much the Grom, but the sport bike, the exhaust and everything alone is really loud. So I'm like, nope, I don't deal with loud noise anymore. I must be getting too old. Yeah, the bug zapper is going crazy, Duro. Like right before I came out, I went ahead and cleaned out the bug zapper to make sure it's bug season starting to be in Florida now. So I made sure to clean out all the little grill area where they get stuck into and die. And now it's just going bonkers because, they're just running into it and dying. I'm here at National Harbor, but I have family in Jamaica. Oh, okay. Enjoy your trip today. Yeah. I am a huge fan of going on cruises. I love seeing the islands. I love doing everything different. Maybe one time we'll go to this place, another time we'll go to another place. And that's generally what we do every time we go. 'Cause we've been to Jamaica probably 3 or 4 times on cruises. So what we do is we normally hop around. And that's just the way it goes, If we go to this area of the island, we'll take a tour here. Or this we'll do a tour there. We really want to do the big famous waterfalls there. I can't remember what they're called. I'm drawing a blank. Everybody knows it. Where you walk, Dunn's River Falls, where you walk down the falls on your feet. It's pretty wild. It's pretty cool. Everybody and their brother knows about it. When you see the pictures of Jamaica, it's always Dunn's River Falls. And but we didn't get to do it because my son is not old enough to go in there. I think he has to be a certain amount, 5 or 6 or 7 years old, and stuff like that. My son obviously isn't that old yet for it. Speed Clear Eagle One Nano Skin. Ooh, I love the mitt. I love the Eagle One mitt, but I don't even know if they make it anymore because, again, Eagle One was bought out, as you know, so I don't know if they even make it anymore. Best budget clay bar. Probably just either the McGuire's or Mother's ones. Over the counter, you'd be fine. Non-Floridians will not understand how blood bugs. Oh, love bugs are terrible. Terrible. I saw one a couple weeks ago, but that was it. But I think they usually start coming out around May. May is when they really hit. So the next couple of weeks, especially with the hot heat we've had this last 2 weeks, we've already been in the 90s for a couple of days now. I'm like, oh, it sucks. Now this week, again, it was all cloudy, windy. Friday was bad thunderstorms. Our first thunderstorms of the year. Woke me up. The thunderstorms were so bad. I was like, holy cow. This week wasn't so bad. It was kind of nice, but I think, once all this weather goes by again, we'll be back up into the 90s every day, which sucks. Eagle One covers a larger area. I'm a firm believer in the theory that this thing environment man-made. Do you think that we'll ever know the real truth? I think it is. Here's the thing. This is my theory and my theory alone. Before I even say anything here now, guys. I think it was man-made. I think it was made to get rid of their old people Remember, China does not consider people like we do, humans. They just say they're non-essential, they're useless, they're just draining on the communist economy. So we got to get rid of them somehow. Remember, they have a population problem. So I think it was designed to get rid of the old people and people that already had problems health-wise, but it won't affect the people that are in good health at all. That's why you're not hearing about the numbers. How many? It's only killing like 1 or 2% maybe, and now they're testing people in California that had it. Apparently, they had it months ago, but nobody knew what it was back then. So they think the real number is actually way less than 1%, but we don't know for sure. Now that I think some of the news has come out and found out that, sure enough, in fact. Yes, it was leaked from a lab, lab created, and it was leaked, but nobody's 100% coming out that they leaked it on purpose. But yes, I personally believe it was let go on purpose to shut down the Hong Kong was having a lot of riots. Remember, Hong Kong used to be British controlled until 2000. Once 2000 took place, communist China, the mainland, took it over, and now they control it. Well, they wanted to roll in there with their military and start really taking over big time last year. And the people were protesting. If you remember this now, a lot of people are already forgetting about this. Huge. It was all over the news. They're protesting. They want their freedom. All that stuff. And then suddenly it all went away when all this came up. So I think it was meant to shut them down as well as get rid of a lot of their older people and crash the economy on purpose. And crash the world economy on purpose. And I think that they have fully succeeded on it. The problem is, what do you do? If you can 100% prove they did it on purpose, that means war. That's where you get really sticky into the mud. You'd have to have, 100% proof that it was purposely leaked out and it is a biological weapon, which most people start to believe that it was. Because now it's killed how many people across the world? So that's might as well be like lobbing bombs across. You're killing thousands and thousands of people, but you're doing it in a sneaky way. I mean, that's the thing about biological germ warfare, that if nobody figures out where it came from, oopsie, and it crashed the economy, it's ruined it across the world, people are without jobs. China's really starting to get aggressive now in the Southeast Asia. I'm telling you, just be warned. Be warned. It might not be now, it might be 10 years, it might be 20 years from now, but I think we're going to see some real hostility start to kick up in Asia in the next 20 years. I'm just saying, I was a history major in college, and usually stuff like this happens, not like this, but rumblings and drama starts happening where, in part sections of the world, and people kind of just go, and then, you're like, and then you look back and you're like, that was the beginning right there. That was the beginning of that major war. You knew it, so obviously when the Prince whatchamacallit of Austria, Hungarian Empire was shot in World War I, that was the beginning, the match point to set off the whole thing, and World War I took place. I mean, you see what I'm saying? America would have never got probably involved in World War II for a long time if it wasn't for Japan hitting them. And Japan was just conquering like crazy. America didn't want nothing to do with it, but they showed their colors, and I don't know. That's my 2 cents. That's all I'll talk about it. But again, that's my theory that it was done on purpose. Whether to get rid of their own people, whether to pollute the whole world and really cause a lot of drama in the world, I don't know. That's my theory. So that's all I'll say about that. Favorite guns. I have a lot of Glocks. I think I have 4 Glocks now. I like the Glocks a lot. People think they're ugly, but they're like Hondas. As long as you can almost do nothing to the Glock, and they're gonna keep on running. I like that about Glocks because their reliability is amazing. Now their new Glock, I think is it the 46, whatever it is. It's their 22. Why would you make a 22 Glock? It's having a lot of problems, a lot of bad feedback, and that's never heard of on a Glock. It's like a Honda being, oh, that's a bad Honda. What? That kind of thing. So I think that was a bad misstep for them to make a 22 Glock. I think that was really stupid of them to do that. So, and I think they're paying the price now that I don't know why they would even make it, but I like the Glocks. We have Smith & Wessons. We got 2 of those. We've got Sig Sauer, obviously a German company. I've got some, whatever. I've got about 3 Springfields, I think. So I don't know. The Glocks just seem like they last forever. Hate regular clay. It's a pain. It isn't as aggressive as the nanoskin. I did a comparison clay between nanoskin. Yeah, it's whatever you want to use, brother, for sure. I have everything, as you know. If you want speed and fast, I'd get like a nanoskin, like a MIT, because the MIT obviously more surface area and you can just knock it out a lot faster. I think the reason is no case in North Korea. Nobody's reporting it. These countries over there, these communist countries, are just not reporting their real numbers. That's the real truth there. They're not. Do you really think China's going to give you their real numbers? They're the ones that started this garbage. Yeah, no, they're not going to give you the real numbers. China and North Korea, God knows, we know they're off their rockers. So yeah, they're never going to give you their numbers either. SARS is from China, H1N1, I forgot what the other, bird flu, all of these things all came from China. I really think that these are steps to see how far they can get away with it in the world. But the thing is, it's like, you're not the only one with these technologies. I mean, United States can do the same thing, just whoop their tail, and literally, you could release a virus, man-made virus that would wipe out everybody, and then, set it for like 5 years later, it'll automatically just disappear. Think about that. You want to win a war? Maybe you want to take over their territory. Develop that virus to kill everybody, and then, after about 4 or 5 years, it'll be literally gone. In the soil, nothing. It'll be perfectly fine. Me and you could walk through there. That's all you got to do. Think about that for a bit. I've always heard the theories about that as well from I know these are way off topic, but if aliens ever came, everybody's like, oh, well, we'd fight them off. They can go between planets, and you think they can do a lot better. They could do the same thing. Just release a biotoxin through the atmosphere, kills off all the human beings, and then it dissipates after a certain amount of time, and then they just come and say, oh, look at this free planet here for us to take over. Hey, think about that. That's all you need. That's all. I know we're getting way off topic here, but you think about that for a minute. As long as you had it, don't tell me they don't have the technology. If they can go from planet to planet, yeah, they probably have the technology like 1,000 years ago, kind of thing. Viruses, you must know when virus is made out of. The Australian government has found lots of similarities between thing. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Again, I think it was all man-made. My favorite quote is, those who forget history, obviously, yes, you're right about that, made repeat it. Amir, how you doing, buddy? Essential worker here in New York. Just wondering if you've tried the Extreme Solutions detailing process. I have not. I've heard about them, but I have no personal experience with that, buddy. Yes, and we are both essential. Me and my wife are as well, but she's barely seeing any patients. Clock 44, 22. But there you go, Eddie. I didn't know which one it was. And I know it has a lot of bad reviews on it because I was like, oh, that'd be fun, like when Nathan gets older. Like I have a 22. I have a typical Ruger 1022. So whenever Nathan's old enough, maybe 5, 6 years old, whenever I feel like he's mature enough to understand what a gun is, and it's not gonna be a toy, then I'll take him out. Because I think I started shooting when I was about 6 years old, somewhere around there. I started shooting 22s at my uncle's houses. So whenever I feel like he's about that time and that he's mature enough to handle it, then I'll take him out with a 22. But I was like, oh, maybe we'll get one of those. I was like, oh, hell. And then they want like $499 for a 22. I'm like, you can kiss my ass. 22 should be no more than like $250. No. So that's what's going on. Hi, Real Cody. What are you doing, buddy? Heard China is going and invading Taiwan. That I could see that happening. Remember, history is Taiwan used to be known as the island of Formosa. This was before back in the day. After China had their civil war and essentially the free China that the West backed during World War II was ran off by, the communist dictator, and they all went over to the island of Formosa, aka Taiwan. And they were over there. That's why we're more friends with Taiwan than we are with Chinese, because they've always been essentially the free Chinese place. But China has never recognize them as their own country, and they want to control Taiwan very much so. So I could definitely see them doing that. I just saw somebody on one of the Facebook groups talking about, it's about the U.S. Navy and world power and stuff like that, and they have satellite pictures right now where the U.S. is rushing some of their carriers and a lot of their Navy to the South China Sea because there's some kind of big standoff going on right now down there in the South China Sea. So I would not be surprised, I've been saying this from the beginning, if this is not the beginning of a next major war, just starting up right now. And they're going to try and flex their muscles and see what happens, see if anybody wants to fight back against them. Because right now, China could walk over every one of those countries in Southeast Asia or the Philippines or whatever. They would have no issues with it. No technology. There's no difference. So I'm wondering if this is like the beginning of a flashpoint kind of thing. And if China didn't have any backing for anybody outside, would they try and make a run, like you said, on Taiwan or in the next couple of years or some of these other countries? Who knows? Who knows? Glock, the Honda of guns. It's true. It's true. Do you think China is worse than North Korea? Because I think they're about the same level. I mean, you guys know like the stories of like Tiananmen Square and stuff. Like they just mowed their own people down and stuff back in the day. They had big protesters against the Chinese communist government, and they just mowed their own people down. I mean, it's like, what the hell, man? Like me and you would never consider that. Americans would never shoot other Americans like that. It wouldn't be that way. Like we're just going to march in and just mow them all down. It's just, that's unheard of for us. So yeah, I think they're about on the same level. Why we deal with them, I don't know. I know it's because of cheap goods, but can't we just go to another country that makes cheap goods? Hell, we have a lot of stuff in Mexico. Maybe start making a lot of the stuff in Mexico. I mean, I don't know. At least Mexico is not on that level. I don't get it. What about like places like the Philippines where it's very poor? Indonesia? Hell, I don't care where. Just don't make it in China anymore. Be done with all that crap. Why is 50% of all of our medical that comes to the United States made in China? That's to me is national security. Again, you have a war starts up. Who has this stuff? Oh, China's got all your stuff. Good luck on that. So yeah, that's the way it is. Should buy 50 cal. I don't need a 50 cal. 1022 first gun. See, a lot of people like that way. 22 is weak. It's perfect for starting everything. 22s are perfect to start teaching you how to shoot. Okay, people that are very nervous about guns, it's a perfect way because they're not very loud. They also have no recoil to them, so it's a perfect way to introduce somebody to shooting. Because if they start out with a big caliber gun or something and they get scared by the kickback and the recoil and the loudness, they're not going to want to do it. So you got to ease them into it. You know what I mean? History lessons, yes. Experience theories. I've heard a lot about the 5G experience myself, about how 5G is supposedly the way that they're spreading the virus. So, and it's deadly to, it's deadly to humans. My year in UDC's Glock 23. I live in Chicago. 40 is around choice. I have a Glock 23. I have a Glock 21, which is the 45. I have a Glock 19, which is the 9mm. I have the Glock 43, which is the single stack 9mm. I like that one a lot. It always sits in my pocket while I'm walking. When I'm going around and stuff, it's always in my pockets. I'm 19, not ready to get a draft. I remember, I'll give you another thing about my story, my personal. When you're 18 in America, if you're a man, you have to fill out for the card for the draft in case it were to ever happen again. And I remember my dad actually filled it out. So my dad did this. My dad was a school administrator and he taught college. So my dad actually did all the paperwork for me. He checked the mail every day, so he picked it out, filled it out, and they said, here you go, Chad, you just got to sign it, whatever, that kind of thing. Basically it was making sure that you're whatever, I forgot what it really looks like, but and you just sign off and yep, that's your now draft cards in the system in case they would ever have it. What is it, like 18 to 35 or something like that? Whatever it does. I forgot what the years of it are. And what my dad sent in, right away the next day in the mail. I didn't think anything of it. I was originally thinking I was going to go to the military anyway, so it was never a bat in my eyes, that kind of thing. It was just like, I'll go in the military, no big deal. We got something back a couple weeks later that they literally, government is run by government idiots. We all know this. And they said we filled it out wrong. And that we put that I was born in 1997 or some garbage instead of 79. I know it was right since it's 79 when I was born. And my dad is the one that filled it out. I looked at it, verified it was all right, and I said, my dad put it in the mail the next day after I had signed my signature on it. It's like, what idiots? Why would I be born in 79, like in 97? It's like morons. You typed it in wrong. But they gave us a threatening letter that this is not a joke, this is serious. We can take down the government and prosecute you for not doing something. I'm like, what the hell? These people are idiots, dude. But then again, it's government run. So that was my funny story of dealing with the draft card that you have to put in when you're 18 years old in the United States. So I was like, the fuck? It's like, you typed it in wrong, not me, moron. I did it right. It was all like this way. So whatever. It's the way it goes. It's like, wait a second. If I'm getting it because I'm 18, don't you think it really means 79, not 97? It's like, you're an idiot. But we know the government people are stupid. What's up with WWE deemed essential services in Florida? I have no idea. I don't watch WWE. They could draft me because of my vision and disability and the meds I'm in. I'm joining the armed forces, but they won't take me. I'm safe. Some Toyotas are made in Mexico. You're right about that. A lot of Corollas are actually made in Mexico. If you ever go down to Mexico, you're going to see a lot of cars that they don't even sell here in the United States. It's really crazy. They have a lot of, you're like, what the hell car is that? I've never seen that before. And it's like right across the border. A lot of those little tiny dinky winky cars, though, they sell them down there. And he has become a big trade partner. Even India is more friendly than China is. China's just milking the world for everything. Don't get me started. I like Trump, but he's not being realistic with this instead of being pissed at China. Okay, I think, Eddie, that you're being more surprised. Here's the deal. I don't like those two doctors. I think those two doctors fed the whole United States a world of BS. They've been deep state for like the last 40 years. I mean, that Fauci guy's been around since the 80s dealing with the AIDS epidemic. I think they don't give a flying crap about the current president. I think they're very, very old school, like traditional, like if you ain't part of the cool guys club, like the deep state they talk about. And I think they led us all on a huge ride that, you know, millions of people are going to die. Now hundreds of thousands of people, now that are seeing the real numbers, is like, that's bullshit. There's no way. I think that the president sees it, but if he was to fire those people right now tomorrow, do you know the shitstorm that would pop up? Think about it. If he fired the two head people that are supposedly against all this stuff, it would be a complete shitstorm. The same with China. Right now, if he was to go after China and say anything about China now, people would think that he just doesn't care about the American citizens. Think about this one. I don't care what side of the world you live on. They want to see that the thing is contained first, and then things get back to normal, and then just watch. I think it's going to be a monster tariff. All the loans that we've taken, all that kind of stuff, I guarantee he's just going to be like, we ain't paying it, hoes. You're paying back for all this stuff. Just wait, or it's going to be a monster tariff on every product. 50% tariff, whatever, on everything you do, like that kind of deal. Just be ready. But remember, if he did it right now, people would think that they don't care. They don't care about the people. You know, they're always putting that bullshit out of now anyways. But it would be even worse. So I think you're seeing somebody bide their time with both the doctors at the same time, because if you fire the doctors now, people would be doing the same thing. They'd be up in arms. So I think what will happen is once this all dies down, you're going to see both those doctors kind of essentially disappear. Did you guys see that that one aircraft carrier had all kinds of stuff, and I guess the captain tried to notify the government. The government kind of blew him off and said, keep your mouth shut about it or whatever. And I guess I don't know if he personally leaked it out or somebody leaked it out to the media, and then saying that they had the virus on the crew, the Navy ship, and they ended up firing him or something like that for leaking it and removed him from the the ship, well, not cruise ship, Jesus, the aircraft carrier, sorry. And then 2 days later, the acting secretary of the Navy that fired him called him a stupid dumbass or some shit like that. Like, you should never say anything like that. And I was like, oh, his job is done. His job is done. He just opened his mouth and said that. The very next day, he was gone. Gone. He relieved himself. Bullshit, you are fired. But you had to save face by saying, you either do this or we're firing you. So what do you want it to be? You want it to be that you resign from the job, or do you want it to show that you got fired? Yeah, because, you know, I have a feeling that captain could now, in the future, next 10 years, run for a government position, because now everybody knows him. The Navy ship was so happy that he sacrificed his career for them, and he looks like a savior and a god to all of them. So I think that we've got to watch that stuff again. So I think the president's biding his time, personally. Favorite caliber gun? Easy to use would be 9mm all day long. 9mm, because it doesn't have much recoil. You can put tons of rounds in it versus, like I say, a 45, so you can carry more rounds. I think a 9mm is a great all-around one. Never had to fill out anything for the draft. Going to be 23 in June. You should have. At 18, you were supposed to. You always get the draft card in the mail. Ulcerative colitis. Eesh. You should buy a bunker next. Yeah, no. If I ever drafted, I would join the Navy. If you're going to be drafted, you don't really have a choice. They're going to put you wherever the hell they want to put you. So generally, if you think there's a giant war going on, you kind of want to join it by yourself. As a matter of fact, the very first guy I worked for, I still know him. He was in the Air Force during the Korean War, so he's obviously a lot older. And what he did is he saw like the draft and stuff coming, and he was like, I ain't gonna get drafted into something like the Army or Marines I don't want to be in. So he went down to the Air Force recruiter and he joined up immediately because he's like, if I'm gonna pick my own thing. I'm not gonna let them tell me what I did. He ended up going in as a intelligence officer. So that was really cool about that kind of thing, that he was in intelligence. He told me he always, one of the only people who was allowed to always carry his pistol on him on his hip at all times because of because of obviously top secret stuff that he was seeing and that he was in charge of. So that was actually pretty cool. And he told me he was stationed in Japan when all the poor guys that had to go to Korea and fight over there in Korea. He was actually based in Japan because that's where all the high intelligence would get sent to Japan at the bases there, and then it would go from there. So he was seeing all this stuff in real time that he wasn't allowed to talk about or anything. So that was really cool that he got to tell me the stories. But yeah, he said I wasn't going to be drafted. He's like, I was going to pick where I wanted to go. So he's like, I went down and joined the Air Force recruiter right away. So that was pretty funny. Haven't heard my Navy ship sunk lately. The Army and the Marines have highest KSA. Actually, during World War II, the Air Force had the higher death rate per area. When you lose a B-17 and you were 9 guys at one time going down, percentage-wise, they lost way more people. You were much more likely to die in the Army Air Corps in World War II than you were to be a Marine or be in the Army, in the front lines, percentage-wise, because it was so much more deadly. Because again, like you say, if you lose a B-17, a B-29 might have like 15 guys in it or whatever. You lose the one plane, there goes 15 guys. It's pretty damn high rate, and then most of those guys never made their 25 missions. 25 was the golden number that they would be able to go back to the States or whatever after they did their 25 missions. Most planes never made it 25. Many of them were just shot out of the sky. 23rd, 24th mission, hey, we all do one dude, they got shot down out of the sky. Their rates of death were so much higher percentage-wise than any other branch. You had a better chance of going on Iwo Jima, storming the beaches, than you did have it being in a plane. So that's the way it goes. It's weird how head Chinese doctor fighting COVID. Yeah, it's weird how the whistleblowers of the virus just randomly died. Weird. We all know what happened. Go ask Hillary. Don't tell them you're gonna go. You know what it was. Have you seen the jokes about it? The Hillary. They're talking about Hillary. Whatever. They're like the doctor or whatever was basically gonna go and talk to the judges about Hillary, and then he suddenly died. It is pretty interesting though. I would like to see more stuff in Made in America. I would love to see a lot more stuff in Made in America. It helps American jobs, it helps American people. Hell, even if it was made in Canada or Mexico, at least bring it more friendly countries, you know what I mean, over on this side of the world. I would be totally for that. I think it would really help people with their jobs. I understand it would be more expensive for each product, but you get the safety margin. If it's made here in the United States, you're not like under some dictator telling you what to do. Would you use Atoms or Acc0rd? I would use Acc0rd all day long. Atoms, I've always felt after trying it all, was a little bit of overhyped stuff. Good products, very good products, over cost products. Let's put it that way. You can buy the bigger version of the CQ UK 3.0, and it'll be like $65. And I put 2 layers of that on some of my cars. 2 layers on like the hard hit areas, your mirrors, your roof, your bumpers, especially to get all the bug hits and stuff like that. The back, the bumpers, I do all that, double layer it, and I still have tons of it left. And that stuff now, I know it's going to last me 5 years or more without even batting an eye. So I would go there. The last ship that was sunk was Gulf War or something. Let me think. When was the last U.S. ship sunk? Well, the USS Cole was bombed in 2000. That again was the setting point of before Osama bin Laden and stuff. If you go back in history, you'll start to see all those crazy militants and stuff. They started that shit, but they did not sink the USS Cole. It killed a lot of people. It put a huge hole in the ship, but they did not sink the ship. I'm trying to think what else was staying. It's been a while. I gotta tell you, man, I don't know if any U.S. ship's been sunk in wartime or any time in a long time. There's been a lot of accidents, ships running into each other and stuff, but actually lost to an enemy, I'd have to go back and research that myself. It's probably been a damn long time. Oldest you can be drafted. I want to say it was either 20 or 32 or 35. Somebody might be able to look it up down in the comments below. Korean War was pointless. Hell, I think all war was pointless, to be honest. Korean War was mostly about containing communism. If the United Nations didn't step in, they wouldn't have stopped at just Korea. I think they would have pushed all of Southeast Asia. They would have started pushing into India and stuff like that. You would have seen it a huge different world. The United States, the United Nations actually banded together and basically said, no more. The same thing happened during Vietnam. The Chinese were really trying to push into South Vietnamese and change them. South Vietnamese was like more of the, like North Korea, South Korea, they were more the free people. And North Korea was more of the communist side. And that was, again, to stop the spread of communism and stuff. And that's what those were based on, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for that, I think you would have seen communism run rampant through the world. And that's what those were fought for. Hi again, Cody. They used to lose guys for poor construction of airplanes. They used to lose construction for war. A lot of times it was those women. Rosie the Riveter was a woman. Sounds crazy, but do you think that it would be ever be possible? People here in Chicago are losing their damn minds. Or what? I don't know what you mean by that. What thing? Read Unbroken. I'm guessing that's a book. I'm like, am we talking about somebody here? I don't know. Have Turtlewax said if they're having plans to bring out a regular car wash? I personally asked them that last time on the phone, Paul. They are talking about it. They are. I specifically said, you have this soap. I think this soap is maybe $12.99. I don't know how much the soap is. It's kind of expensive for a car soap. I said, can't you bring a regular car soap, really rich, really slick, with loads of foam, and is amazing in the foam can? Can't you just make one of those and sell it for maybe like $7 or $8, like Meguiar's Gold Class or Mother's? I was like, can't you do that? I said, no wax in it. I don't want any wax in it. I want heavy amount of foam. I want it great in a foam cannon, and I want it super slick. Can you guys not do something for that? Maybe make it under the ice line, because they have their ice line. That's what the seal and shine is, under the ice line. You guys all know this. And so is their spray wax, which is hella good too. The spray wax was amazing before they even made the ice line. And they said they are considering that now. They're just bouncing around ideas. And I was on this conference call. It was really cool that I was on a conference call with all the head people of Turtle Wax. And they were bouncing all these ideas off the wall. And they were saying, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Well, what about this, Chad? Would you buy this stuff? And I would tell them, yes or no, I wouldn't. What about a box set on this? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't buy that. I was like, that's just me personally, but I said I wouldn't buy it. And I said, here's my 2 cents on it. I said, and then I would ask them some questions about these products and stuff. And that's basically how it went. But then they asked me, well, what would you like? And I told them, I was like, dude, if you can make something like one of those soaps, I said, you'll blow away every soap on the market. You will be the best soap, period. I said, I just don't understand why you don't have it. And I said, I don't understand why you don't have tire shines and stuff. Why don't you have tire shines? Why is Meguiar's essentially the only ones that make it? They're like, well, Meguiar's essentially has the market cornered. I said, so just because they have the market cornered now, means we're just going to give up and not try? I mean, I talk to them in a nice way, but I talk to them like that. I'm like, so you're just not going to try just because they have the market cornered? They're always going to have the market cornered unless somebody steps up and goes and gets them. Am I right? It's like China. Unless somebody tells China, you better cut your shit out, they're going to keep doing it. That's the way, I said it very nicely, of course. I'm like, well, why not? Let's do it, They're always, fight back, Get some of the market thing. Take 25% of their market exchange away. Do something. I was like, I don't understand why you don't make the stuff. So I said, you're a huge name, but you don't make some products, and why? And so they said they're looking into it, and I was like, cool, that's all I want to hear, that you're just looking into it, you're taking the ideas into it. I mean, the head manager that was there on the phone with me, the product guy, the mic guy, that if you follow Turtle Wax, you've seen him lately, he was on the phone with me. Their head of the internet thing that dealt with all of us getting shipped out there back and forth, she was on the phone. And then there was one more person on the phone. So it was actually really cool getting to talk to him. Navy's a harsh branch when it comes to death rate. Yeah, I don't know. If you don't take the fight to the tyranny will bring it to you. That's true. I was asking if a purge could possibly happen, like the movie The Purge. I could see something like that happening. If things got bad enough, I could see things happening like that. I don't know if any of my subscribers are on right now are from Michigan. but I know Michigan's governor has just gone off completely off the deep end. I mean, they're locking off parts of like Walmart that you're not allowed to go into. You can't go garden in your own yard. You can't go farm in your own farm. If you own 100 acres and you're the only person in 100 acres on a tractor and you're farming, what the hell? Like, what is wrong with that woman? And if you want to garden in your garden and you own 5 acres and you're the only person around you for 5 acres, why can't you go garden? Why is California banning surfers from going surfing? They're 100 yards out there in the ocean. They're nobody. Why can't they go surf? See what I'm saying? There is so much tyranny being thrown out right now that people are thinking, oh, it's making me safer. How is a dude 100 yards out there surfing affecting your life? 100 yards out there. Or those people in Michigan that are on 100 acres out there. They have nothing to do with you. They're anywhere near you. They're not. The government's pushing this 6-foot bullshit. If they're 100 yards, that means they're 600 feet from you. Am I right? Or how many acres are they away from you? They aren't bothering you. So why are you telling them they can't do it? There's a lot of tyranny going on right now. I could see, in an extreme situation, I could see that. The whole tyranny thing. China's going to get a nice bill. I would love to think that, Tiger. I would like to think that. California is forcing their FFLs and gun stores shut down because they are demanding them. California is a bunch of hippies. You all know this. I'm sure a lot of my subscribers on right now are from California. I see enough of the stuff. I hear enough of it from you guys. I don't know how you all live there. If I was you guys, once this stuff started ending, I would look at getting a job somewhere else and moving the hell out of California, moving the hell out of Michigan. All these wackadoo states that are just telling you what you can and can't do with your life is just stupid. Plain up stupid. Now, I understand. Like, tons of the California people are so sick of it that they're all moving to, like, Texas. Like, we're getting a hell of a lot of the New Yorkers down here in Florida. Like, lots of them, because they're sick of the garbage, too. The sad thing is many of the New Yorkers that are coming down here then vote the exact same way, that everything should be free, and why isn't it better like New York? And it's like, you just left New York because you hated it. So why are you trying to change New York? And that's a big problem. I would recommend you guys looking to get out. No, I'm not listening to Temper at all. No, I'm just giving topics. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Somebody asked about something, I ask about it. Chill out. Nobody's losing their temper. Man, you guys don't even know what temper is. Like, dude, I could literally go off on somebody, but I'm very, like, right now, we're just chilling out here having a discussion. Like, there's no heated anything, man. Guys, I'm more relaxed than I could tell you right now. I'm hanging out here in my garage talking to you guys. There is no temper whatsoever. I have nothing to be mad about. This whole thing feels like a massive overaction and thing. Yep, I think it is too. What do you think about reopen? I would hopefully, Jonathan, I hope in the next week or two, most states open up again. I think it's hurting people big time. I'm seeing it here. My wife barely sees half the patients she normally sees, and she gets paid per patient. So she doesn't get paid on an hourly basis. She actually gets paid, per patient. So with her patient count under half of what it normally is, her paycheck is going to be like this, which means, can we pay all of our bills? Thankfully, we do have some money in the account for emergency situations, but what about all these other people that don't? Most people in America live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm sure half of you guys are the same way. You probably have maybe $1,000, $2,000 in your account at any given time. Your car payment. My wife's car payment's coming due next week. It's $435. I've got to pay that next week. I've got to pay the house bill comes up here in the 1st. That's $2,300 for this house. A little $1,200 stimulus check ain't doing jack shit. We just got our electric bill in. Our electric bill was $277 this month. Water bill was like $70. That $1,200 wouldn't do jack. We didn't get $1,200. We didn't get anything because my wife makes too much money. But I feel bad for a lot of people. I really do hope it opens up sooner than later. I believe that if people have medical conditions that they'd be worried if they were ever going to be exposed to it, that I hope they do take protection for now and stay inside maybe. But for the rest of the Americans that need to get out there and take care of their families, I think it's time to start opening it up. And I like a little bit of the layout plan. I think it's okay if you guys follow politics. They're doing a state by state. You guys can do what you want. Here's 3 phases, and bring it out as you feel is necessary. I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I want to see it. You know, people are like, oh, well, it'll blow up. Well, even if it was now or 6 months from now, it's still the numbers are gonna go up again as people are getting out there again. There's no cure for this stuff, so it's what's gonna happen. You know, you think about that. If there's no cure in 6 months from now, and now people are everywhere living off the government for whatever government money they can have, and then you release them in 6 months from now, what's the difference? There's no cure for it. So you're going to see numbers go up again, as you would figure, because more people are going to be out around each other again. But at least we know there's a lot of medications that help. The hospitals are actually pretty slow, especially here in Orlando. I know they're slow. They're laying off a lot of doctors and nurses. So it's just what's going to happen, guys, you know. And we just got to take it one by one, you know. I don't think anybody's trying to kill anybody. I don't think anybody's trying to see people die. But, you know, when you have people that can't feed their kids or families, I think it's going to start to be some scary times then, you know, real scary. I never lived in an earthquake country. I had my fun here in Utah, 4.2 shock last week. And see, I don't know. We live in Florida, so I've never been in an earthquake either. I've been in hurricanes, but hurricanes, you know they're coming. You know, they're devastating. You know they're coming. You know a week out that the hurricane's out there in the Caribbean and it's heading this way. But you don't know if it's going to hit Florida, if it's going to hit your part of Florida. I mean, if it goes 100 miles that way, it'll just be a really windy day. And that's it. That's the way hurricanes are. Unless you're in like near the dead eye of the hurricane, it's just usually really windy. Maybe knock some trees down or maybe knock some power lines down. But for the most part, you'll be fine. If you're like 100, 200 miles one way or another, you're pretty much fine. It just turns into a really windy, rainy day. You only get like 60, 70 mile an hour winds. Well, that's not really that bad. But if you're in that little eye, so it's always like, what do? You know, so people freak out here in America, Florida. It's the same way. I mean, look, I still have 2 cases of water right there below my jacket from last year's hurricane season when there was a hurricane supposedly going to come in Florida and ended up not doing anything to Florida, at least where I am in Florida. But I went ahead and bought a couple things of water then because, you know, just to make life easier. Even though you get your water out of the tap, you can still fill up your bathtub and stuff. And I just figured get ahead. And we bought a bunch of food and stuff like that, so we were fine. But yeah, an earthquake, you have no idea it's coming. Just bam, it's done. Jesus Christ. My temper is so chill. Like some of you guys thought that I was mad there. Dude, we're hanging out. I have nothing. You could just say, hey, honey, can you pick up this stuff right here? Can you just clean up your stuff right now? I work all day long. You don't understand what it's like right now. This is crap. I will get you what I want. I mean, it's like, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And she's, boom, instantly. It happened yesterday. I asked her, she had one of the vacuum cleaners out. And I said, and I tripped over the cord. I said, hey, and I said just like this, hey, whenever you get time, can you pick up the vacuum and put it back where it goes? Instantly. She's the one that used it. She's the one that left it out there. So, hey, you take it out, you put it back, that kind of thing. Instantly went off on me. So, yeah, her temper is terrible. But it's the way it goes. So, you know, I've this whole stream, have I been hot? Humidity hot. Like, it's warm right now. My legs, I feel like they're sweating right now. But the temper? No, I've not had any temper. Newport Beach, California, Lido Island, moving soon, keeping my properties, and will charge these liberals top dollar. Hey man, whatever, Tiger. If that's your job, go for it. I've got no issues with that. But I don't know how anybody could live in California, to be real with you. California, like Washington State's gone bad. New York, there's no way I could live in New York. Hell no. I saw their taxes and all their things. No way. Michigan, obviously, after all this drama now, I would not doubt if she loses her job, her governorship job. Paid per patient. So paid per patient can be a good thing or can be bad. I'll give you guys an example here. So doctors who are on salary will get paid a flat rate no matter if they see 10 patients or 30 patients a day. Hell, they can see 1 patient a day and their paycheck is going to be the same. Okay, that's salary. Per person means when you're barely seeing anybody, it sucks. It sucks because you're not getting a guaranteed pay rate. However, if you do see more, like let's say 20 patients or more, then you're making more than if you were to be on salary. I'll give you a real example here. When my wife was down here in Kissimmee, the job that brought her down here to Kissimmee, when they had her on salary, they left her at the same pay rate for 4 years. Every year they lied to her and told they were going to give her a raise, and then always had an excuse. Every year her year-end review would come up. Well, right now the company's not really doing that good, so we got to we're not going to be doing any raises this year. Bullshit, whatever. By the end of the 4th year, I said, something's wrong, honey. I said, it's time for you to get a job offer now, well, before the company goes out of business. Because I said, there's something wrong with this. Ended up being that they went out of business right after she came back from maternity leave, but she'd already had a job at her new job. So they were making her see sometimes up to 32 patients a day. Do the math. You're doing an 8-hour shift at the medical clinic, and you're seeing 32 patients. Somebody quickly do the math. How many patients per hour that is in 8 hours? So that's minimum 4 patients an hour. Am I right? So what if you come in with a bunch of serious problems? You're an older person, and it's going to take her 30 minutes to see you. Well, that means I got to put 3 more patients in 30 minutes somehow. So every patient's maybe going to get 10 minutes at best with it. And I'm only going to get paid a flat rate. Once she went up there and she eventually built her, she sees 24, 25 patients, her pay literally went up about $60,000 a year. And she doesn't even see 30 patients. She sees maybe like 23 to 25 on an average day before all this drama took place. Her pay went up over $60,000 a year. And she actually sees less patients and works less hours. That's the difference. So for her, it's better to get paid per patient because it gives you incentive to want to bust your ass. If you want to see 30 patients, you're going to make a ton of money. But she gets to work less hours, sees less patients, and makes way more, so she's a lot more stress-free, which, of course, as you guys know, she needs, that it works out best for her. Yeah, a lot of people are looking to go to Texas. 435 for a city. Yeah, no, not really, because you got to think the vans. You know, the MSRP on our minivan was $39,000. Vans are not cheap, son. A loaded Honda Odyssey minivan is $45,000 to $47,000. We had one of my subscribers was obviously in here live stream earlier. He works at Honda. He would be able to verify that it's between $45,000 and $47,000 for the fully loaded Honda Odyssey minivan. Yeah, so 435 is not that bad. We put down, I want to say, how much did we put down? I think we only financed like low 30s. Low 30s is all we financed. Maybe we were around like 32,000 is all we financed actually on the van. Because we had that Hyundai Tucson before, but the Tucson wasn't paid off yet. So that's the way we did it. So I think we financed like 32,000 on it. We only owe like 13 or 12,000 on it. I've only been paying a little over minimum payment every month. I don't pay a lot. There was talks that anybody over 16 will be getting a $2,000 a month. Well, it better and we'll start again because where's that money coming from, guys? Somebody explain to me where all that money's coming from. Oh, taxes? Yeah, that's about right. The government has it. Where does the government get their money from? Taxes. So what does that mean? Taxes are going to start going up. Does your wife make money from insurance since medical is expensive? So what happens here, Aaron? You go and see my wife, or you see any doctor. Now you have your medical insurance from whatever job you have, right? Or your personal one you buy on your own. You present the card. After she does her thing, maybe she gives you a prescription, whatever you need. Now she turns it into the billing department. The billing department now types it all in their form or whatever and submits it to your insurance company. Then your insurance company, maybe a couple days, a week or two later, now pays back the company, pays back the doctor's office, and she gets a small percentage of that money that she gets. The rest of it goes towards, of course, the owner gets his part, and then the rest of it goes to, like, obviously the supplies that she uses, the use of the building, obviously, the electric, water, paying all your nurses, stuff like that. That's how it works. So she gets a percentage of whatever the patient is billed. So if you're just a basic cough and cold, then you're billed very low. They bill the insurance very low. If you are a complete train wreck of a person, they bill you at a much higher level, so she gets a bigger amount of money for it. So if you come in and say, my dick hurts, my ear hurts, and my nose hurts, and I'm having problems seeing. Well, she's going to spend a lot more time on you trying to look at all these things, and because of that, she charges you a lot more. Well, she charges the insurance company more. That's the way that works. And then, of course, then she gets a bigger percentage. So that's the way it works. It's really no big deal. 1,200 ain't gonna do nothing. Do you think silver coins are good investments? Got them as payment and cell phone. I would keep silver. Hard currency is always worth money. Silver, gold, platinum, it's always gonna be worth money. No matter where you are in this world, precious metals are always worth money. That's why most people
During the recession in 08, 09, where buying gold went through the roof. It was almost up to $2,000 a share, an ounce. Because of that, because everybody put their money in gold, because gold's a solid, tangible item that you can have, and that's always going to be worth money. The American dollar isn't worth, that little piece of paper isn't worth $100. It's only your faith in the U.S. government that makes it worth $100. That I know that if I turn it in, I'm going to get $100 worth of goods. If the United States collapsed tomorrow, that $100 would not be worth $100. Nobody's going to give it to you because they know there's nothing backing that. There's no government or anything backing it saying that that's worth $100 what it is. Like China has major inflation. You had major inflation after World War I. Germany during the Weimar Republic days, which of course obviously tumbled into World War II eventually. There were stories of them people bringing in wheelbarrows of money just to buy bread because their money was worth nothing. The German government had to pay off their loans for World War I, so they were just printing money. Literally printing it and then sending it to the Allies as repayment. Just printing it, which made their money worth jack shit because they just kept printing, hitting the printing press, print. And it made it absolutely worthless, which then people didn't have any money. Hitler comes in and says, I can give everybody here a job and I can make every Germany much better again like it was before World War I. Everybody goes, yay, Hitler, yay. You know the rest of the story. We're going to make Germany great again. We're going to take back our area from Poland. We're going to take back our area from the Czech Republic. We're going to take back our area from France. We're going to bring Austria in. Yay! We're going to make Germany back. You guys know the rest of the story and history from there. There you go. So that's why that's why people rush into gold. Okay? I know it's a bit of history lessons you guys are all getting just thrown at you, but that's why. That's why people rush into gold. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to have it. When people see your template, they should check out your videos from a couple years ago. When the lady cuts you off. Oh, yeah. There's some bad drivers here, real bad. A lot of people are foreign drivers. A lot of them are not from America. They don't know the rules of the road. They just, well, on my island or my place, this is the way they drive. Well, you're not in your place, so you'll get a lot of bad drivers here. 48K die from vehicle accidents due to your shutdown. Oh, the same thing with the flu virus, or the same thing from heart attacks. Heart attacks are one of the leading deaths in America. We don't shut down America. Smoking kills over 1 million people a year. We don't shut down the world. You get where I'm saying here, so I don't know. Amish people, I don't know, man. Good night, PBJ. Thanks so much for stopping by, buddy. Amish, yeah, my dad lives near Amish people in Central Illinois. There's a big Amish community. I've had 100 mile winds back in December 2001. It was insane. Lived in a different Utah town. Yeah, it can get pretty wild. And then what happens is, for hurricanes, it picks up items, and now those items essentially turn into missiles. The wind's just blowing it. Bam, it hits your car. Bam, it hits your house. Before you know it, it's tearing apart windows. It's tearing apart doors. It's knocking things thin. It's throwing your cars around. I mean, I'll tell you, when I was in Pensacola during Hurricane Ivan that hit during 2004, I was in college. They had the big Civic Center downtown. You know, all the big things go on. The winds were so high, they were clocking at like 135 miles an hour or some crap. It took the air conditioning units off of the roof, which is like, what is that? You know, a couple 100 feet up off the ground, took them off and flung them over the side of the building all the way down into the parking lot, and they landed on a couple of cars, completely flattened the cars. These air conditioning units are big enough for the entire Civic Center. So these bitches are like the size of a train locomotive. You know, those kind of giant ones. Picked them up and threw them off the roof. So, yeah, they turn into missiles and bombs when they come down. So that's where it gets very dangerous. The winds alone can be dangerous, but it's when you start getting these items that are flying down the street and hitting you, hitting your house. You know, they have stories of pine needles from pine trees going through trees and like stuck sideways into trees because the wind essentially turned it into a missile. And boom, it just stuck right into the side of a tree. That's some scary shit. Imagine if that was your body. You're going to die by pine needles. What do you die of? Pine needles. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad, you know. So it's crazy. Why'd you marry her then? Just don't get her mad. And she'll let you do basically what you want, but don't get her mad. Just want to say, what's up, Richard? How you doing, buddy? One Cat 3 hurricane will destroy Florida. Traveled. The problem with Julian hurricanes is usually the more they travel across the land, the less power they have. Hurricanes gain power when they're over the water. Once they hit the land, they lose all their power. That's why you always see them within a day or two. It's nothing but a very heavy rainstorm. Once it starts making the Midwest or going up north like Tennessee and stuff, it's not hurricane strength anymore because it's not pulling the energy from the water, the ocean, and it just loses its power. So going straight up to Florida wouldn't last very long. It might last a couple 100 miles max, and then it would be like tropical storm. Like by the time it hit, it'd be like Ocala, Gainesville, Florida. It would be nothing but more than a tropical storm at that much because it would be pulling the power, the energy from the water. Storm surge and the winds. We don't have to worry about storm surge this far in. Like I'm in the center of the state, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. Is Seattle a good place to move? I would not live there. It is very, very hippie. I was there last summer. Lots of hippie people out there, like kind of people like that. I will tell you, I've seen. They have tent cities. What the mayor of Seattle did, well, I was told, we were like, what the hell is wrong with this city? They said, they wanted all the homeless people from like Portland and Oregon to come up there to Seattle, and they were more than welcome to move to Seattle. So we were on, I think is it Interstate 5 that runs straight up through Seattle? In between the interstate, on the median, they had tents lined up, and homeless people were living in tents in between the median on the interstate and next to the interstate, literally right next to it, the shoulder of the interstate and the grass, there was tents all lined up. I've never seen anything like that in my life, ever in my life. Would I live in Seattle? Hell no. Hell no. Way too hippie out there. Way too hippie. But if you're into that kind of stuff, then okay. But yeah, I was like, no, sir. Matter of fact, I remember their McDonald's that was there by the Space Needle, they don't even give you refills on drinks. You know, every other Walmart or McDonald's you can go to, you just go up there and refill your Cokes. Not in Seattle. It was one drink and that was it. Do your parents live in Pensacola? No, Adam. My parents got divorced and my dad lives in Illinois, my mom lives in Georgia. When you get paid by patient, can you decline patients due to medical? So if they have to be able to pay for it one way or another. If they don't have insurance, then they can pay up front for it. And that's totally fine, obviously. But they have to have the money to pay for it. You know what I mean? You can't just do that. If you want to do that, then go down to the hospital and they'll do a bill you later kind of thing. But you still get billed, even if you have no insurance. And the hospital will see you and they'll treat you, but you're gonna get billed later. Trust me on that one. They'll come back and whoop your tail for it. My wife had everything covered, but when you have your pregnancy, when you're having a baby, they put in this needle at the midpoint of your vertebrae in your back that basically helps numb the pain down there. And that one thing alone was, I think it was $2,000. It was some ridiculous money. That's the only thing the insurance didn't cover on the entire thing, because we have two really good insurances. So our insurance covered the hospital stay, the prenatal, postnatal. It covered everything, the doctors, everything. But it did not cover that injection they put in your back to help kill the pain. And that cost, I think we had to pay almost $2,000 for that one shot. They put it in it's like an IV that goes in your back, right? So anytime you have a lot of pain, you hit this thing and it releases basically like a morphine in there, which helps kill the pain down there. It goes from your back down. So that way, for ladies, obviously, it takes away the pain. Good night, Mitchell. Thanks so much for stopping by, buddy. Are you into prepping? No, I got whatchamacallit. I mean, we got plenty of food here and stuff like that. Basic noodles, rice, all that stuff. We have tons of that kind of crap. Guns-wise, I could go for a long time with guns. I'll be fine there. Like, I bought most of my guns and ammo during the Obama years when it was really hard to get ammo and stuff. So I couldn't go even to the shooting range. So it got so bad that any time that we'd be in a Walmart, we actually saw like 9mm sitting on the shelf, we would just buy it, whether we were going to go shooting or not, because it was just too hard to find any ammo. So I'm good there. Can you do jumping jack one time? No. Stop eating McDonald's and you just heart rate last death. Get her annual. No, dude, I'm not even stepping in that one. That would be like death for me right there. Dalton. California is filling. Yes, we talked about it earlier, Mopar, before you got in, way a long time ago. Yeah, California's. Don't get me started, guys. Don't get me started. I think after this, we're going to see a lot of people from California, Michigan, maybe New York, and all these other places are going to leave. They're going to be like, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm putting my house up for sale. I'm going to move to somewhere that's normal. like the rest of the world is, and they're gonna get away from that. So the problem is then the people that are left are the ones that get taxed when they have to raise the tax and stuff. Oh, well, we got to pay for all this stuff now. Well, who's left? The poor suckers that are still left now are going to have to pay even more taxes because you're the only ones that are left. So we got to raise it because our income is down. As a matter of fact, they said New York was down like $6 billion on tax income. What happens? Taxes are going to go up, homie. Got to pay for all that stuff we just spent. And then as more and more people leave, then that means the few people that are left have to carry the burden. So now I got to raise taxes again, and it's just it's a vicious cycle, vicious. Get her a Snickers. Oh, dude, she would probably blow her top if you did something like that to her. Just in joking, she can't handle jokes very good. She gets very mad about them. So if I was to do up there and be like, "Hey, you're not yourself. Take a Snickers," she would probably lose her ever living mind on me. Would you live in Utah? There's nothing out there, but like only thing as a Floridian who's never been to Utah, other than like stopping at Salt Lake just for a transfer flight. So I think we were going to Vancouver or no, we were going to our cruise out of Los Angeles. And anyways, as a Floridian, all I know that's in Utah is like a bunch of desert and a ton of Mormons. That's all I know about Utah. And that's the truth. It's like when people talk about like Australians and like New Zealanders and they talk about that stuff. And like, what is Australia? They say New Zealand has nothing but like sheep there. And they're like, yeah, we got a lot of sheep. Or like Ireland. Ireland is very green. I've been there once and I stayed there for a week. And I've never seen greener grass in my life. Ireland is literally greener than green. It's crazy. It's crazy how bright green everything is. But that's what they know. Is your wife specialist? No, she is a family practice doctor. We have motion cameras outside the house. Skid Row is the worst. It comes to homeless. So you had to pay $2,000 out of pocket for that meal? Yes, we had to pay out of pocket. Is your wife not working now? She is working, Adam, but very low patient population because of that. She was told this last Thursday that she would not come into work. They laid her off, and they laid her off next Thursday as well, because she was only scheduled to see a few patients. So what they did is they canceled all those patients and rolled them back and said, "Hey, go back to you're going to have them come in a different day instead. We're going to cancel all your patients for that day, have them rescheduled for another day." So I guess they're slowly trying to cut back now. So they're canceling doctors' days now. They're trying to cut back. So tomorrow, she told me she's scheduled for only 11 patients. Normally, she sees between 20 and 25 patients a day. On average, about 3 patients that are scheduled don't show up for their patients, their office. Okay, so that means she'll see if she only holds at 11, she'll only probably see 8 patients tomorrow. 8 from 24 or 25. And she gets paid per patient. So yes, her checks are going to be very small. So we personally are going to have to start cutting back heavily and we haven't been going out to eat. We went out to get McDonald's, or we went to Burger King one day this week. That's all we've done. Every other day it's been in the house. We have hamburger meat inside there. We've been cooking out in the grill. We've been having noodles. We've been having fettuccine. We've been having ham. We have ham. We're cooking in a lot more in the house to cut money because we know her paycheck is going to be very minute. Remember, we still got to pay all the bills. And it's not like the insurance company is going to let us drop. The insurance actually gets paid in 2 days from now. It's $505. It just went to $505 a month. And I'm like, it was $485. Why did it go up $20? We haven't had any claims. We haven't had any accidents, nothing. But our insurance now went up $20 a month for our car insurance. Now I was going to call them and ask them, what the hell is the crap? We're going to start looking around if you don't start lowering the price, because we don't have any problems, we don't have any claims. But then all this drama took place, and I was like, I'm not even trying to call them because I know how busy things are right now. Yeah. There's a zombie man that ate a place of Florida. Crazy news. I think bath salts or something. Utah is great hunting. Epidural. There you go, Valiant One. You know the actual term for that. How do you feel about all these people going to the beaches down there? I'm okay with it. They want to do whatever. They can do whatever they want. Eddie, tell me this, Eddie. There's no vaccine. Let's say vaccine is not made for 2 or 3 years. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit inside your house for the next 2 or 3 years, Eddie? And this is being real. This is a real question here, Eddie. Are you going to sit inside your house for 2 or 3 years? I know I'm sure shit not. How are you going to pay your bills, Eddie, if you can't go out there? Let's say your job is not an essential job, Eddie. Tell me how you're going to pay it. And don't tell me the government's going to always be there for you, because you can't trust the government to be there for you all the time. How are you going to pay the bills? Now, let's say you got 3 kids. How are you going to pay the bills? That's it. There's, like I said earlier, Eddie, and this is not to knock you or anybody's place. If some people are like, well, we should hold it down to the end of the year. Okay, that's fine, but who's going to pay all their bills for their houses? You'll have the biggest economic depression since the Depression. And they said it would even be worse if it drug on much longer. You have 20-something million people right now on a government things. The government can only do so much before it's out of money. If you postpone 6 months or 6 days and you don't have a cure, it's still going to spread. They're still going to get out, and naturally, of course, it's like the flu or like a regular cough and cold. It's going to spread. There's no cure for the cough and cold. There's no cure for the flu. There's a flu vaccine, and yet people still don't take it. And people that take it still can get it. And the vaccine is just a vaccine. It's not a cure. So eventually you have to get back to normal. People have to get back to normal. You'd see, I think, honestly, we'll see riots in the streets. And we are already starting to see that, like Michigan, they're going to town things, and even California. People in California are starting to protest. It will be a nightmare. And I think the world would drastically go downhill fast without it. That's all I'm saying, buddy. I would never want to talk bad about any of my subscribers. Never mean things. But this is the way I see it, and it's real. You got to think about the realistic stuff after a while. If you make $100,000 income, it counts as low income on the Bay Area. Again, Aaron, if you were out west, like doctors would make way more than they do out here. But then again, like you said, it's way more expensive to live out there. A doctor that eats their Burger King? Hell yeah, dude. Doctors eat crap food. You'd be surprised, man. During residency, man, they eat whatever they can get their hands on. If you're like an ER doctor in the ER, boys, whatever you got your hands on. Is the cafe open down the hall, or is it whatever? Did somebody brought in pizza? Oh, shoot, I'm going to go in the break room and get some pizza. That's the way the doctors live, man. You'd be really surprised. You think doctors are healthy? Hell no, son. Hell no. They eat junk food worse than anybody else. Do I like fat-ass white girls? I don't know. I like skinny white girls myself, personally. Patrol. My job is considered essential. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Eddie. Me and my wife are both working essential, but we live in Orlando. Or I live in Kissimmee. We live in the Orlando area. You know that, Eddie. There is hundreds of thousands of people here that are reliant on the tourist industry in the Orlando area. So right now there's hundreds of thousands of people without a job right now. And that little $1,200 stimulus is sure as shit ain't going to last. And it's going to absolutely crush the economy. The government cannot keep paying for stuff. This $1,200 thing is, you might get one more after this, but I think they just can't. They're having to print money, which will then make your money worthless. Getting back to the story about Germany, they had to do the same thing. And you start doing that kind of stuff, and things start kind of some problems there. Somebody calls your money and says, you know what, America, you owe me a ton of money. I've been letting you slide. Start coughing up that money. How are you going to pay for it? We would be screwed right now. If China pulled the tab right now before all this stuff happened, if China pulled the tab and said, look, you owe us a couple $1 trillion. I need it tomorrow. You better have my damn money. Turn the printing machines on, guys. Turn the print machines on full time. Full time, boys. Full time. Which would, of course, crush our dollar's value. Absolutely destroy it. And essentially, that's what they were doing before World War II in the 20s. And then they completely ruined the Deutschmark back then. And then, of course, you know the rest of the history, like we already talked about. So that would be a bad thing if somebody called our marker in right now and said, you owe us a lot of money. Now, my hope would be that Trump or the government gets together and says, you know what? You did this. You released this. You didn't tell us about it. You had the World Health Organization cover that shit up for us. You know what? Remember all that money we owe you? We don't owe it anymore, homie. Kiss my ass. We're not paying it. Our debt is paid in full because it cost us how much money to build these dumb hospitals, to build these ventilators. How many people did we lose? And yeah, you did it. Then I would want to see that. Give me something like that kind of scenario saying we're not going to pay it. We're done. Our debt's now paid in full. Give me some kind of scenario like that. I don't know. Hit him with a monster tariff. Whatever. Just something has to go. Something has to pay it. You know what I mean, brother? You're awesome. You're damn right I know what that stuff is, homie. You know I'm down with the bitches and the hoes. Tell me what movie that came from. Gluckman's Down with the Bitches and the Hoes. It's like a movie from like the early 2000s, right around like 2000 if I had to guess, 2001. They teach people to be healthy, but doctors, oh Jesus, doctors are some of the worst, Aaron. I'm telling you, bro. I've been around enough of them, especially when she was in a residency and stuff. They do not eat healthy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some that are workout people and stuff like that, but the majority are so hustle and bustle, go, 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 that they're not actually eating healthy. They're just eating crap 24/7. You'd be surprised. One of her doctors that was in New York, when she did, how much? She did 3 months of clinicals in New York, in Brooklyn, in Kings County. So if anybody's from New York City, you know where Brooklyn, Kings County is. She did 3 months of, I want to say it was internal medicine. She did internal medicine in New York City, in Brooklyn. That doctor died only a couple years ago that taught her. That doctor was only like 58 years old or 60 years old. He was a fat dude. Already dead at 60 years old. He was a big fat dude. She said he was just unhealthy as healthy can be. But, you know, so doctors don't, they'll tell you what's wrong, but they don't listen to their own advice. Let's put it that way. Most of them don't. That's just the way it goes. Malibu's Most Wanted. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, see, Eddie knows. Eddie's down with the bitches and the hoes, too. Yeah. Class of 2020 is going to be disappointing because of prom. Dude, it sucks for everybody. Let me tell you. There's no graduation ceremony, nothing. I saw even like the Naval Academy or something there. You can't have family and all this garbage. It was just stupid. I feel really sad. Honestly, let's say they open up schools in 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. Because people have had this many weeks off over a month off, send them kids back to school, have them finish out their school year. I don't care if graduation's on July 10th. You've had over a month of school off. So just let them continue it. Kind of like, you know, some of you guys up north have snow days. Have your snow days. You got to make up for it at the end of the year, am I right? Or a lot of schools do. My battery's at like 5%, by the way, guys, so we'll have to get off here soon. But make it up. These kids have been out of school, and now they're going to say, well, they're not out for the rest of the year. Well, they're losing so much education that they didn't have. And now you're going to throw them into the next grade at the end of August and say, good luck when you don't know what all this other stuff is. This is going to ripple across the country for years. Years, because people, you've missed 2 months of school. Oh, and then suddenly, well, now you're starting your, now you're going to start 10th grade years, high school. Remember all the stuff we talked about there in April? Oh, that's right, you weren't in school in April. And oh, you didn't learn all that? That's right, that's because you weren't out. This is going to put so much strain on these teachers. And you think those virtual classes are teaching anything? They ain't teaching them jack crap. It's not the same when you can just raise your hand and be like, hey, can you help me out with this one? It's going to be a train wreck. Absolute train wreck, man. Did you like New York City? No, I don't think so. By the way, my screen got really dark here. Now it's America's turn. Do you get priority or destruction? I don't know. Don't tell the wife that. Plan to go to Vegas December and Florida early next year. Do you think everything? Yeah. I think everything's been running by then. I think everything in Florida will start running normally in the next 2 to 3 weeks. At least the basic stuff, like jobs will go back to normal. Schools will probably come back. Well, I think the governor said now schools are shut down for the rest of the year, which is to me is stupid because it's like you have a month and change left. Just the kids need to get back. They need to learn. My son is 3-year-old kindergarten. I understand. But these kids that are in 9th, 10th, 11th, they need to be in school and going from there. What are you doing, Nathan? I'm just. Show me your attitude. Go. Arr! He has a bad attitude. He's like his mom, like all day long. You tell him no, and he flies off. You've been playing games? Here, come talk to everybody. Come say hi to everybody before the video dies. Come say hi.
Hi.
There you go. Yeah, we went in the pool together, didn't we?
Daddy.
What?
I played games. It's tricky.
Oh, you play games and it's tricky games?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, his English is a little bit off. It's not really that good. So we don't know if he needs speech or what, but we took him in the pool today. We went jumping in the pool. We got to go swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to play with all the stuff. We threw all the golf balls in the bottom of the kiddie pool, and then he made him go get them. He put his trucks in the pool and everything. So that's what we got to do today. And then I gave him a bath afterwards because I get him cleaned up. You tired? You tired? No, the party's just starting. We ain't tired yet. Where are you going? So I gotta have some fun with the guy. Now he's gonna go back inside. You see that? You going back inside? All right. You have a good time. I'll be in a few minutes. Okay? I'll let you have some gummy bears in a few minutes. Okay? I promise you can have some gummy bears. Yeah, I went to Sam's Club yesterday. So we bought one of those giant boxes of gummy bears that are like little packets. So that way he can have some whenever he wants it, or I want to have them. Trump calls coronavirus the Chinese virus, and people say it's racist. It's because if it comes where that's where it's from, that's the way it goes. How's he not sleeping? So Valiant, because he's not in school right now, and I work evenings, I just let him stay up at night with me, and so that way I don't have to get up. Because if we put him to bed, he'd be up at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and you know me, I don't want to get up at 7 or 8 in the morning, not with my work schedule. So what I do is I just let him stay up at night, and then he sleeps in with me, and then I'm like, perfect, you know what I mean? So I like a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get up, make videos for you guys while he's asleep, and I'm already inside getting cleaned up and getting a shower, and when he's finally woke up, and I'm like, sweet, so it works out really, really good. Like the door will be cracked open, he comes and goes as he pleases, he knows where I am, and that's it. So it works out really, really good. Otherwise, I'd be like a demon. What happens during the school year usually is I have to get up after about 3.5, 4 hours of sleep, get ready, take him to school, drop him off, and then I usually go back to sleep. When I was in flight training, then I'd have to go to the airport and meet the flight instructor at 9 o'clock in the morning and then go fly for a couple hours. Then I get back, and then I have to go pick him up from school. Meanwhile, I've only slept 3.5, 4 hours, but so I'm like turning into like a real dick by then because I haven't gotten much sleep. So right now it's been really nice because I'm like, sleep away, homie, sleep away. But I honestly and truly believe I would like to see them extend the school year well into just June, maybe even into the beginning of July to make up for all these days that they've missed. So that way the kids aren't missing, because it's going to be a real pain. It's going to be a pain for the teachers as well, because they're going to expect them to teach like a normal thing when they're going to be like, but we never learned that, man. We don't understand. I just learned it. I just saw it on a computer, and they're not going to understand it. And I think it's going to be a real, real nightmare for them. Imagine teachers having to teach this stuff. Oof. No, Eddie, if you heard him, he speaks like this, and so he doesn't speak like me and you speak, like at normal speed. He speaks like this, and I don't know. And you're like, oh, dude, say it faster. But he speaks very slow. So the good thing with him going to school this whole year was he was around other kids. His verbal usage was getting way better. Because what my wife has always been worried about is maybe he has some problems. Maybe he's on the edge of autistic. He has speech problems. Who knows, So she, being a doctor, she thinks the worst of everything, of course, because she's seen it all. So she kind of thinks once in a while maybe he has some problems. Maybe he's autistic. We don't know, because he does some weird things once in a while. And you're like, what are you doing, buddy? He's like, oh, nothing. And I'm like, that's a little strange. So that's how he really normally acts. But I mean, he's still very lovable. He's still very nice. But he gets mad really easy, just like his mommy. He runs off to his bedroom, slams the door, and I was like, "Don't do that again." It's really, really funny. But looking on the outside in, it's like kids shouldn't be acting that way, And we have to go talk to him like, "Hey, you got to cut that out right now. I don't care if you get mad. Just don't run off and slam the door and stuff, because that's how you start getting in trouble later on down the road. You need to learn to control your anger now." Not as a 3 or new 4-year-old. How am I going to graduate? I'm still in college. You ain't going to graduate. You're in there for the rest of your life. What's up, Aaron Corley? My phone is almost dead, by the way, buddy. Just to let you know. I've only got 3% battery left, so I'll tell you right now that we're going to have to get off here in a few minutes here because it is dying. My son is like beating on the door. So let me go check on it. I don't know what he's doing. No idea what he's doing. What do you want? Go inside. Go inside. Let me see if I can find the gummies. I don't know where Mommy put the gummy bears. Oh, they're up here.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to get Mommy get you some gummy bears. See these right here? This is what I'm talking about. Hold on, I'll put the phone down so you can actually see what's going on. Here. Here, you want some gummies?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just jumping up and down for you guys. Hold on, buddy. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go have fun. You want me? Do you have your cartoons on? No, you have some stupid 90 Day Fiance on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna change the channel real quick for him because he's watching dumb TV. My wife's obsessed with this stuff. Let's see. Turn on cartoons. Oops. Oops. Oh, that didn't work out right. Hold on.
That's
There you go. House. I know nobody ever sees our house, but this is our house, so welcome to the cribs. My cribs. All right. Sorry about that. I'll take the rest of his gummy bears, though. How's that sound? I put on Blaze and the Monster Machines on for him, so he's going to watch that for a few more minutes until I shut this down. And I got him, like I said, I got this big old thing of Black Forest gummy bears. Didn't vaccinate him. You can't even go to school in the state of Florida unless you have vaccines, brother. So he's had all his vaccines. As a matter of fact, I think he has to have some other one at 4 years old, my wife told me. So he has to have it like soon. Because if you don't produce the sheet that says that you have been vaccinated, that you can't attend the schools in Florida. That's the law. One, I can barely see because my phone's almost dead, so it's really dark screen. I personally like either high shine, like Meguiar's Ultimate Tire Shine, or a coverall or something like that, or I go with something like, a trim and tire shine like this from Masterson's that has it's like a cream base because it lasts a lot longer and doesn't really sling that much. So that's generally the two I'll stick with. Good, yeah, dude. I love them and I love the Haribo. Haribo's, a German company. And it's funny because I asked my friends in Germany, I'm like, have you ever heard of this company called Black Forest? And they're like, never heard of it, because the Black Forest is in Germany, down there by Stuttgart and stuff. And where Porsche and Mercedes are made. Yeah, I've been there too. No, they're like, no, we never heard of it. And I looked up and they're based out of Pennsylvania. There's a lot. So when everybody's migrating from Europe to America, lots of Germans went to Pennsylvania, like a lot of them. So I guess that's why they took the name Black Forest Candy Company, so whatever. So it's actually like Germans from way back in the day that moved to America because of the German influence, they call it that. Oh, yeah, Paul, it's the way it goes, brother. It's just the way it goes, and don't get me wrong, we don't put up with his attitude. He gets an attitude. His thing now is he'll be like, no, and he'll slap you. He slaps my wife. Good luck, son. R.I.P., bitch. I'm out. And that's the way it is, because it's game on then. He's getting whooped then. You hit her, it's game on. You hit anybody. And I don't want him to be that way. Just because he's mad, you don't go hit people. That's those bullies that are always like, man, bro, and then they go and punch you and stuff like that, because they can't control their attitude. They can't think up here. So, they think with their fists and stuff like that, and that gets you into trouble, obviously, as we know. So, we don't want him raised that way. So whenever he starts to try and hit one of us, it's spanking time right there. I know some people will probably be like, oh, how dare you, but it's the way we like to raise our kids. He had full access. Yeah, he didn't even know. They were in the back because we went to Sam's Club yesterday. And we bought a bunch of big supplies like that. That way it can last us for a while. So we bought those. We bought sour straws, big thing of the Mexican Coke bottles in the bottle. I love Mexican Coke. It's a real sugar.